Civic Center. It's time for Colonels basketball. The Altavista Colonels in state quarterfinal action, taking on the Honaker Tigers, a familiar opponent. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs, and Big O. It's a special day, a double dip of Colonels basketball. We'll have the guys first and then the Lady Colonels. Boy, a lot to talk about in this one as you hear the final buzzer sound from the game before Altavista. The guys will hit the floor for warm-ups in a mere moments, but it's a pretty exciting Subway pregame show.
Well, it is. It's a rematch of last year's state championship game, and I think if you'd have talked about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, if you'd have seen these teams meeting anywhere other than the Final Four, I think there would have been a surprise. Certainly seeing Honaker, who went undefeated until they got to the regional tournament. They won the first round and then lost the 2 games after that. To come in here as a number 4 seed from the West, I think shocked everybody. And, you know, I think there's a little bit of surprise on this other side that the Colonels came in and were able to rebound and have a 20-4 season and maintain that drive for their 4th straight championship. This promises to be a good ball game.
It really has been some incredible stories both ways for both of these ball clubs. Honaker comes in at 27-2, but as Oscar alluded to, they were undefeated for the entire season up until last week. They're actually on a 2-game losing streak right now. The Altavista Colonels, on the other hand, the 1A East Region champs, 20-4. This is the Subway pregame show. Let's hear from the head coach, Troy Harris. He'll talk about last week's regional tournament, what a grind it was, and then he'll tell us a little bit about the Honaker Tigers. It's state quarterfinal action, Altavista and Honaker. Coming up, tip-off in less than 20 minutes. You'll have yourself a ringside seat on 105.5 KD Country.
Hey, this is Mitch at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center. Come check out our large selection of appliances, furniture, mattresses, and lawn care equipment. We carry top brands such as Frigidaire, Whirlpool, Samsung, Maytag, Speed Queen, Best Home Furnishings, Bassett, Ashley, Sealy, Sierra Sleep, and a full line of Husqvarna products. With 0% interest for up to 48 months and customer service you can trust, we will make your buying experience easy and affordable. So come on down and see us today at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center, 606 7th Street, Altavista, Virginia.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sonny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Jumpstart your business on a winning note with the Altavista Revolving Loan. An opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Check in with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis, at Altavista Town Hall. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality, supporting the Altavista Colonels' winning tradition.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoon, so you can buy anytime, any day, 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns from the Salem Civic Center. It's the Altavista Colonels taking on the Honaker Tigers, talking once again with Troy Harris, head coach of the Altavista Colonels. Coach, before we get to tonight's game, congratulations on another region championship. You get named Region Coach of the Year. Congratulations on that. It was a battle in that region tournament, though. Those 3 teams, it really tested you guys, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. We won by 9, and the other 2 were single digits. There weren't any easy cupcakes for sure. So, and that's sort of how we've been playing all year. So I was sort of expecting, it was going to be a battle. We weren't going to blow anybody out, and it's hard to blow anybody out at this point anyway because you're done facing bad teams. So, yeah, really proud of how my guys played and really stuck in there in the face of battle. And, the Coach of the Year thing, it doesn't happen without my coaching staff and the players. If they don't do it, then I'm not getting recognized.
Sure. Let me ask you about those 3 wins, and let's throw the Dan Rivers and the Rustburgs and Appomattoxes. You feel like your team's got a lot of confidence right now that they can beat anybody?
Yeah, I think so. You know, we lost that game to Appomattox late, and we had them beat, and then but we rattled. I think we've won 8 in a row or something like that now. So I really think the regular season, playing the Dan Rivers, the Rustburgs, the Appomattoxes, really does prepare us for the postseason, because you get down to single A competition, and we've been playing up all year long, and it really has prepared us. And we've seen athletes like this or better all year long.
You've had a week to prepare for Honaker. I know you probably got a few wrinkles that you're not going to reveal, but tell us a little bit about the game plan to stop the Tigers here today.
Well, they still have Robinette. He's the one everybody focuses on, and there's no different with us. We're focusing on Robinette to keep us out of foul trouble and maybe to get him in foul trouble. Then they have some standstill shooters that you swarm Robinette, you get 4 people guarding him, and then he kicks it back out to a standstill shooter. So those are some of the things we've been talking about, how we're going to defend. And you're right, a couple of wrinkles put in, but we're still going to play our man. That's our base defense, no secret there. And maybe with a few wrinkles mixed in. But, yeah, it all starts with Robinette, 6'7", probably the best player in the state or one of the best players in the state. So if he goes off, then it'll be a long night. Josh
McClure has had the task of shutting down a lot of big guys like that this season. Kasim Harris comes to mind from Dan River, Morgan from Appomattox, the list goes on. Same matchup here tonight. You can throw Josh on him and then go from there if that doesn't work.
Yeah, Josh is going to start on him. Lawrence is, on call in case Josh gets an early foul. But Josh has done a really good job of staying out of foul trouble all year long, really. I don't think he's gotten more than 3 fouls all game. I could be missing a game in there somewhere. But if he gets a quick one, we'll put Lawrence on him, or we'll switch it up or do something to keep Josh on the floor and out of foul trouble.
And Josh seems to like the challenge of those guys, too. Talk about your offensive attack against their defense. What do you expect? And is it going to be much of the same from you guys?
Yeah, well, they're weird. They like to throw these junk defenses at you, something, and it really throws a wrinkle at us because you don't see them in the season very often. You're used to seeing a 2-3, a 1-3-1. But Honaker really throws a 1-3-1. Then they throw like a weird 2-3. They'll go boxing one some. So it's just weird getting our guys acclimated to it. If they played another type of zone, we'd be, ready to attack it. But it's a good thing we had a week off. We got some film on them, watched them. We see what they do in it. And we really worked on attacking the triangle in 2 because it is funky and you don't play it. This will be the first time we faced it all year, and it's a state quarterfinal game.
What's going to be the final thought before you send the guys out on the floor? Because it is elimination time. Again, you got to win this one or your season's done.
Well, I want to make sure that they understand that it's not life or death. It is a big game, but I think the last thing is have fun out there, enjoy the experience, but come back with a win too. You don't want to come back with a loss and you had fun on the court. So you're only having fun if you're winning. I think that's going to be the very last message before we pray to go out to the court.
Great stuff, Coach. We'll let you run. Troy Harris there, the Altavista Colonels and the Honaker Tigers. Tip in about 15 minutes on KD Country.
Hey, Oscar, my insurance situation isn't too good. I need to find somebody new.
Just call Mike Kinlaw. I've been a customer of his for over 20 years.
Mike Kinlaw, huh? I always knew he was a big Colonel fan.
Well, he's an independent insurance agent, so he can shop around and make sure you get the best rates. I mean, you can go online and try the Lizard or the guy that wears khakis, but hey, he's an Altavista graduate. He supports the teams. He's involved in the community. You can't get more than that.
Sounds like I'm calling Kinlaw Insurance Agency.
Yeah, call Mike at 369-5612.
369-5612.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
When you need an important business loan, you want to deal with a decision maker who will respond quickly. I'm Penny Wallace with local First National Bank at our airport branch. I'm focused on business customers, and we have a streamlined process to help you with any loan need. I can offer various business loans for real estate, new equipment, and credit lines. So for better business banking, think of us first. That's local First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch & Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Return to the Salem Civic Center. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He is Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs. We're getting ready for the Altavista Colonels and the Honaker Tigers. Part of a double dip for us here today, Oscar. Lady Colonels taking on Fort Chiswell after this. Let's talk about these Altavista Colonels here for a moment before we get into the scouting report on Honaker. Colonels with a region championship last week, their 4th region championship in a row. In fact, they're the only East Region champ ever. That first one in that 4-year streak was back in the old Region B days. So that tells you how dominant the Colonels have been. This time around, though, Big O, all single-digit victories. I mean, there were no blowout wins for the Colonels. They were tested in all 3 games, and I think that gave the guys some confidence.
Well, I think you're right. I think one of the common factors when you look at those games, for the most part, is that the Colonels had I'm not going to say a comfortable lead, but had a decent lead, 6, 7, 8 points, sometimes as many as 14, and kind of held on for dear life coming down the stretch with some of those games. Certainly the last game, they had the opportunity to have that game get away from them. But again, at the end of the game, they hit some free throws and were able to put that away and win by 3.
Yeah, the first round game, the region quarterfinal against Matthews, was probably a little bit more comfortable than that 62-54 score reveals. Northumberland maybe the same way. Surrey, though, was the one. They got up big, and all of a sudden Surrey just mounted that furious comeback attempt. And the Colonels probably think they're a little bit fortunate to hold on, but an ugly win is better than a pretty loss any day, I think.
Well, and, you hate to say this, but if they'd have lost that game, they'd still be here today.
Right.
They'd come in as a number 2 seed as opposed to a number 1, but certainly you don't want to come into the state quarterfinals after losing a game. Certainly, if you're Honaker after coming in on a 2 loss, that's a big disadvantage as well.
Yeah, the Honaker Tigers, as we've already said this year, were pretty dominant all year, blowing people out. They actually had a 60-point victory at one point this season. And then the last 2 ball games, they have stumbled just a bit, losing in the region semifinals and then in the region finals. And it was an interesting situation. Eastside defeated Honaker in the region semifinals, and then it was George Wythe knocking them off in the region finals. Both of those 2 teams obviously in the state tournament, 4 teams from each region, Big O. And the big story when you talk about the Honaker Tigers is the big cat, Tanner Robinette. He's 6'8". He's got over 1,000 points in his career. Even more impressive, he's got over 1,000 rebounds in his career. He's averaging nearly 17 boards a game.
Wow, and he's averaging how many blocks a game? That's
5 blocks a game. Yep.
And if you look at the margin of victory for Honaker, really in February, 67-48 against Council. Against Henry, 110-34. Hurley, 72-44. Grundy, 75-41. Hurley again, 60-40. They've been dominating teams, and a lot of them haven't been close. They had some games early that 7, 8, 10 points. So they're battle tested as well. So this has all the makings of a good ball game.
I think some folks question the caliber of competition that Honaker was playing. And certainly they might feel like there's evidence for that when Honaker loses 2 in a row in the regional tournament. But I can assure you folks at home, this is a good Honaker squad. They're not going to go away quietly here tonight, especially not when you get the big cat, 6'8", Tanner Robinette, in the middle. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about the Colonels a little bit more when we come back. It's the Subway pregame show. 3 great locations to eat fresh around town. Main Street in Altavista, inside the Walmart on Clarion Road, and then further up the road inside Foster Fuels on Route 29. Subway, eat fresh. We're about 8 minutes away from tip-off. Another quick timeout, and then some more analysis and the starting lineups between Honaker and Altavista. State quarterfinal play in 1A VHSL state tournament basketball action. You're going to hear it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
English is so much more. English is more than a hardware store.
Springtime clothing from Carhartt is arriving daily at English's The Complete Home Center. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability, is on display at English's with a full line of menswear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats, sizes up to 4X. Special orders and accessories available. Visit the Carhartt Clothing Department at English's, North Main Street, Altavista.
Life happens. Divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30 years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. David W. Shreve wishing good luck to the Altavista boys basketball team in the playoffs. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista, or by phone 369-6621.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellas Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellas Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
The Subway pregame show returns to the Salem Civic Center. It's Altavista and Honaker. Always amps you up just a little bit more when you get on the big stage, doesn't it, Oscar?
Absolutely. Of course, you get to a Civic Center arena where you've got a whole lot more seating. You've got a lot of other teams here playing today, so those fans are either here early or staying late, and it certainly puts a different emphasis on this ball game, and certainly the stakes now. The regionals, you get through the first round, the next two games, if you lose, so what?
Yeah.
You still advance to the state tournament. It's win or go home now.
Yeah, you've advanced to the state tournament. Now there's no more losing. There's 8 teams left in each division. This is 1A state quarterfinal basketball action. And as Oscar said, it is an arena. It's not a gymnasium. You've got the open backdrops behind the goals. We've always, well, not always, but sometimes when we get in this place or VCU, we make mention of that because the shooting background is altered a little bit and can be a little bit different. Before we get to the ball club starting lineups, let's tell you about ours, the folks that make this game possible. So we're so proud to have the support of these businesses, and they help us carry on our high school basketball tradition, which we're pretty proud of. People like English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. First National Bank, start mobile banking today with the First Nat mobile app. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. English is your complete home center and your authorized Carhartt dealer. Carhartt apparel in for springtime now as well. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction service. Feller Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. Sonny Merriman, Virginia's premier bus company. The Altavista Office of Economic Development, helping Altavista grow. KCD Maintenance, Ken can do it maintenance. Call 665-1333. Pardon me, it's 665-1333. David W. Shreve, attorney at law. Get expert legal advice with prompt and straightforward answers. El Cazador on Main Street in Altavista. Try the new menu today. Kinlaw Insurance, proudly supporting the Altavista Colonels. Call Mike at 369-5611. Altavista Appliance, Home and Lawn Center on 7th Street in Altavista. If you're listening online at kdcountry.com or with the TuneIn app, it's brought to you by Chad Rakos, your all-state agent in Windhurst. Basketball fans, always in good hands with Chad Rakos. This is the Subway pregame show. And Big O, some final thoughts here as we're about 2.5 minutes away from tip-off.
Boy, I think if you're a Colonels fan, it's the one thing you got to do is limit the possessions, that Honaker gets. Certainly you've got to box out and keep the Big Cat off the boards and keep them from getting those offensive rebounds and give them 2, 3, and 4 opportunities to score. And you've got to keep Galliard and McClure out of foul trouble. I think those are the keys. You may see Altavista run that zone a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, I think certainly if McClure and Galliard get in foul trouble, you sort of have to go to a zone to neutralize the Big Cat, Tanner Robinette. On the other hand, Honaker's used to that. They've played against zones before. He knows how to handle it, and he's a very good passer as well. That's a point that we should make. He uses that height to his advantage in the passing game. He just passes it right over you.
And we saw last year, he's got a great basketball IQ.
Yeah.
As good as anybody we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. Just solid, knows the gaps in the zone, knows how to penetrate. It's easy to get the ball into the 6'8" guy if you don't have somebody fronting him and coming across and getting help from the back. Yeah. And even in those situations when he's a double team, he gets it. He knows how to turn. He knows where the gaps are, where his shooters are going to be. Great basketball player.
He runs the floor well, too. He's 260 pounds, well put together. He's built like an NFL offensive lineman, but he is in great shape and gets up and down the court. And there's other weapons for Honaker as well. Brett Boyd is the second leading scorer at 12.8 points per game. Harley Hilton is next at 11.9 points per game. For the Altavista Colonels, they're led by Nelson Dews, the senior. He scores 12.5 a game. Josh McClure is next at 10.7 a game. Josh McClure leads them in rebounding, just over 8 per game. It's the Subway pregame show. The warm-ups are done. I don't think they're going to do a national anthem, Oscar. Do you? They usually do one at the beginning of the day on these types of super site events. It's a VHSL super site. Bunch of teams playing here today. It was William Fleming girls winning right before we came on. And then it'll be Altavista Colonel girls taking on Port Chiswell after this. So stay tuned. It's going to be a nice afternoon of basketball.
They will do the VHSL sportsmanship announcement that they do, and they'll have a representative from each team read part of the VHSL sportsmanship guidelines, which is always a nice thing to do. Let's do some starting lineups while they're doing that. First for Honaker, they'll start with number 4, Brett Boyd. He's a 5'11" guard. He's a freshman, and Kyle talked about him earlier. He's leading the team in assists. Number 5, Harley Hilton. He's a 6'2" forward. He's a sophomore. They'll go with number 15, Blake Stinson. He's a 6-foot guard, 160 pounds. He's a sophomore. Number 20, Brent Coleman. He's a 6-foot guard. He is a senior. And, of course, we've talked in depth about the Big Cat, number 33, Tanner Robinette. He's a 6'8", 250-pound senior. One thing looking at down this Honaker lineup, they've only got 2 seniors that get significant playing time. They're young as well.
They are young. The big man is a senior, and sometimes you feel bad talking about him the whole time, but with those numbers, you kind of have to.
And he's starting to get a lot of attention from some D1 schools, so we'll see tonight. Next for the Altavista Colonels, they'll start with the same 5 that we've been talking about all year. Number 2, Nelson Dews. He is a 5'11" senior. Number 3, Mateo Malbach. He is a 5'10" junior. Number 4, Daquan Poindexter. He's a 6-foot junior. Number 15, Lawrence Galliard, a 6'2" sophomore. And number 30, Josh McClure. He's a 6'3" junior. And you talk about that, Nelson Dews really, you talk about him, he's the real player that's getting a lot of playing time from the seniors. After that, they're young as well.
That's a very good point, Oscar. 2 seniors. Nelson Dews is the big gun. But other than that, it's a lot of youth. A couple shout-outs to some folks listening. And, hey, if you're listening, let us know. KD Country's Facebook page is a great place to let us know that you are tuned in. The entire Cochran family is listening. They got basketball of their own. They're playing a little upward basketball on a Saturday, wrapping up their season. And then I believe the entire Farmer family is listening. Rotary Club had an event this morning, and they're wrapping that up down there. So I know we've got a lot of Altavista fans in the Civic Center, Oscar, but certainly a lot of folks listening, too.
Talked to Mike Kinlaw yesterday. Mike and John, I had a previous commitment, but they're going to be listening to both games today as well. Hated that they couldn't be here.
Great stuff. Starting lineup's going to get announced for both ball clubs right now. Let's talk about the coaches really quick, Oscar. for Hoehne, Marcus Dunham is in his 6th season. He has never had a losing season. Troy Harris on the other side, well, he's never had a losing season either.
That's right.
But he's only in his first year. Colonels come in at 20-4. So right now the career record looks pretty solid for Coach Harris.
Well, absolutely. And 1-for-1 yesterday announced that Troy Harris was the region Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Coach Harris on that well-deserved award. I think there were some, I'm going to make a comment, and you might yell at me, but, there were some concerns about the hire, about staying in-house, and, boy, Troy Harris has stepped up, and he's quieted all those doubters. 20-4, there's a big stir around this program, continues what Coach Quarterfinal had started, and to see them in the state quarterfinals, great job by Coach Troy Harris, and the future of the Altavista basketball program looks great.
Absolutely, and Coach Quarterfinal pointed out to me, and well said, he said, hey, this was a basketball town even before I got here. It's going to be a basketball town after I leave. You don't have to worry about that. He was very confident in Coach Harris's abilities. And, no, I'm not going to yell at you. I think you made a good point. Nowadays, it's always easy to criticize and second guess. Any coaching hire, anybody can say, oh, I don't think he's a good pick. But I think they made the right move.
Absolutely.
And Coach Harris is paying off in spades here this year. The guys are playing hard. And we're about set for some basketball.
Yeehaw.
All that sideshow stuff is almost done, Oscar.
Yep. And Hoehne kids are already come out of their huddle. They're waiting.
And let's talk about these Hoehne jerseys, Oscar. We hadn't mentioned that. They're a little bit of a throwback look. They say fleas on the front, F-L-E-A-S, just like a little bit of bug that would bother you. Back in the day, 92 years ago, Honaker High School won a state championship in Virginia, and they were not known as the Tigers then. They were known as the Fleas because they played that pesky defense where they would just bother you and hamper you all day, hence the name Fleas. And these throwback jerseys are a nod to that old nickname. They say Fleas on the front. They're gray. They've got orange piping. Colonels in the home whites with orange trim. Altavista wins the tip early. They're attacking the basket on Oscar and I's right. Nelson Dews has it. He'll try the three. It's off the back of the iron. McClure skies up for a rebound just outside the paint. Shot off the window, won't go, and there's the big man Robinette with his first rebound of the night.
Nice look and good that Josh was able to get that offensive rebound. That's a good sign for the Colonels.
You can feel the energy and the intensity in the Civic Center here. Still 0-0 score. We're a mere 25 seconds into the ball game. This is Blake Stinson dribbling right, gets around a screen from Robinette. Hands off to Hilton. Hilton now left wing over to Coleman. It's nearly stolen away, but Robinette gets it back on the low block. Colonels swarm. They had 4 Altavista jerseys, and there's the jump ball. Colonels are pumped up. They like the defense.
Well, before the steal, there was a great job by Josh McClure coming around on the high side and doing ball denial. But when he got, that ball was loose, they did end up feeding it into Robinette, but they got great help from the weak side. Mateo Malback, another steal from the Colonels.
Nelson Dew stole it. Going to go up far sideline. Nearly double dribbled up ahead to Malback. Malback finishes and scores for the first points of the ball game. He is fired up. He'll trot to the free throw line to try and convert the old-fashioned three-point play. Altavista 2, Honaker nothing with 7:14 left to play in the quarter.
Boy, Colonels have come out very aggressive on the defensive end.
Couple steals, couple deflections, got up and down the court quickly. Malback, nice form, drains the free throw. They'll play full court man-to-man pressure. Daquan Poindexter giving Blake Stinson a bit of a cushion. Now he gets up and tightens on again. Stinson driving to his left with the left hand. Hands off to Hilton. Hilton now kick out to Brett Boyd. Boyd for a long three won't go. There's Poindexter with a rebound from the left side.
Nice job boxing out. Colonels have numbers.
Look at Malback in transition, scoring on the fast break. Wow, nice up and under layup finish with the left hand. Malback has all 5 for Altavista. They lead 5-0. Honaker's going to send a substitute to the table early. This is Harley Hilton. Throws it into Robinette. Robinette, power move on the inside, scores it. That's hard to stop. 5-2. Honaker cuts into the Altavista lead.
Opening up in a little, looks like a 1-2-2 press.
They kind of crashed Altavista as soon as they broke the timeline. Nelson Dews looks at a 3. Now cross-court pass, top of the key to Malback. In the corner to McClure. McClure will try the 3. Never drew iron. Rebounded by Hilton. Hilton will angle to the right and bring it up himself on the far sideline. Honaker working right to left from Oscar and I's perspective in the road gray jerseys. A lot of teams wearing that gray more and more now, Oscar. They throw it to Robinette, right-hand post, foul, count the basket. Looked like Poindexter just whacked him right on the left hand. That was the scoring hand for Robinette, and he has a chance to tie this ball game up. It's 5-4 currently, Altavista on top.
He got him on the wrist, and Robinette is very, very strong. He was able to finish to put him at the line. He'll get the opportunity, as you said, to tie this ball game.
It's fun watching a big man like that can move around, that can finish, that is strong. He does miss the free throw. Rebounded by Galliard. Colonel's on the attack the other way.
And that's unusual, too, because he's got a very good stroke.
McClure pitches just outside the paint to Nelson Dews. Now they wing it back to Nelly on the left wing. That came from Daquan Poindexter. Nelson flips to the free throw line to Galliard. Galliard, nice touch pass back to Poindexter. Daquan Poindexter wants to drive.
Josh on the back.
Yes, they did. He sort of knew it right away. He went after that rebound aggressively, never had position, and got on top of the back of what looked like Harley Hilton, the sophomore for Honaker. It'll be Tiger basketball, even though the jersey says Fleas. That's a throwback to a state championship team from 92 years ago. 92 years ago is a long time.
1924.
I mean, yesterday was a long time for me. 5:30 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 1-point Altavista advantage. Brandon Sample in the game now for Honaker, only substitute for both ball clubs. Colonel's on defense right now. It's Malback, Dews, Poindexter, McClure, and Galliard. Robinette, spin move, left-hand finish at the front of the iron, wouldn't go. There's Sample that stole a rebound away nicely. He'll dribble it back out and create a new offensive possession for Honaker. Stinson drives, shot hit the iron, won't go. Tapped out of bounds into the Altavista cheerleaders. Let's see who the call is. They say his last touch off Altavista. Here comes Chancellor Mormon, the first substitute for the Colonels.
Chancellor, of course, for those of you listening for the first time, defensive specialist.
He can score, for sure, but certainly a very, very potent defender, lockdown type of defender. They throw the long pass into Sample. Go ahead.
McClure and Robinette were doing wrestling underneath before the ball was thrown in. Official did a nice job saying, okay, easy, guys.
McClure is really going to have to work, but the blue-collar man loves it. Robinette, oh, boy, I think Honaker fans might have a legitimate gripe there. It looked like a couple Colonels were attached to his arms there, and he tried to go up. He took McClure with him, but the shot wouldn't go. It went out of bounds. They say last touch off the Colonels.
Well, it went off bounds because Lawrence Galliard rejected it.
Lob pass down low to Robinette. That got blocked away by Galliard.
And there's a lot of fans in here that didn't like that, but that was a clean block.
That one was clean. The one before it might not have been. Nelson Dews triggers the three. Bingo! Nelly is fired up. That gives the Colonels an 8-4 advantage with 4:47 left to play in the first.
And I think that allowing them to play, the physicality, actually favors the Colonels. You would think it would favor Honaker, but if they're going to let them play and
nice backdoor cut. Sample grabbed it, couldn't finish down low.
Boy, the Colonels are dominating the boards, Kyle.
They're collapsing in the paint there and really getting on the glass. Nelly, no looks it to Chancellor Mormon. Mormon back up to the right point to Nelson Dews. 4:45. The clock is stopped at 4:47, Oscar. The clock is stopped and nobody notices it. Three ball hit the front of the iron. Galliard scores. It's 10-4, but the clock hasn't run in nearly 30 seconds. How are we the only two that sees it? How are we the only two that see it? The clock has not run in nearly 30 seconds. And even our trained broadcaster, Oscar Briggs, put his headphones off and told the official, it's 10-4 Altavista. After a crazy sequence there, the Colonels are playing well with a 6-point lead with 4:47 on the clock, but it's more like 4:17 or perhaps even less. I said 4:45 at one point, Oscar, just assuming that the clock was going to run.
Yeah, it was stopped for at least 30 seconds.
It says 44 seconds now. That's not right.
They're going to put 440. That's not even close.
That's not even close either, yeah. Close. So they shaved off 7 seconds. We'll see if it matters in the long run. Probably won't.
I was so worried about the clock, I didn't see who had that last bucket.
Honaker had to work hard to inbound. I'll tell you in a second. Robinette, left hand, scores
who got
7 feet. That's right. Can't avoid seeing the big man, Tanner Robinette. It was Lawrence Galliard, by the way, with the last basket for the Colonels. I just thought I'd have a little fun with it. Sort of a modified half-court press here for Honaker, stretching out near the half-court line. Cameron Hughes is in the ball game for Altavista. Colonels in the road, white jersey, scoring on the basket to our right. Hughes wants to try a three. Count it! Cameron Hughes, numero uno, strokes in the 3 ball from the corner pocket.
And Cameron's really started to play well the last 4 or 5 ball games, becoming a real asset for the Colonels.
Absolutely. Number 1 with the 3-pointer. Colonels looking for another steal. They get on the ground. There's a wrestling match on there after it. Maybe some bad blood there between number 15, Blake Stinson, as he feels like a couple Colonels just dove on top of him.
Blake got a lot of playing time last year for the Honaker Fleas, and I'm sure he's still worried about last year's.
There's a steal by Stinson. Stinson driving, got blocked by Mateo Malback, but that's a foul. Malback got him with the body. Might have been clean on the block itself. Yeah, but Stinson will go to the free throw line with 3:49 left to play in the first quarter.
Well, it's been physical, and it's getting a little chippy right now.
13-6, Altavista on top. Here's a tad bit of bad blood. And, of course, a lot of these guys remember the game from last year, even though Altavista lost all 5 starters. Honaker lost 4 starters. Stinson will eye the rim here with 3:49 left to play. Bricks the first one. And, the lead will stay at 13-6, Altavista.
You talk about both teams. One lost 5 starters, one lost 4. To get back to the state quarterfinals after losing that kind of leadership and of talent speaks volumes for the jobs both coaches have done. They set up in this 1-2-1-3-1 full court press. It's been Colonels have done a good job breaking it so far.
Cameron Hughes tried a runner from the right baseline. That would not go. Honaker grabs the rebound there on the attack again. Stinson in the corner to Brett Boyd. Boyd to the top of the key to Hilton. Hilton will trigger the 3. That's off the back iron. High rebound grabbed by Cameron Hughes. Nicely.
Colonels are really doing a nice job on the boards.
Dominating the glass so far. 3:20 left to play in the first. 13-7. Altavista on top. It's his own defense from Honaker. Coach Harris in the pregame interview said he thought the Tigers would employ a number of different defenses. Some of them the quote-unquote junk defenses like a box and 1, triangle and 2. Looks like a straight-up 2-3 zone right now. Nelly, quick release, 3 is good. Nelson Dews stroking from outside. That will prompt a timeout from Honaker. We'll take it 2. Altavista on top, 16-7. We come back for more Colonels basketball right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE Altavista, Lynchburg. KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Shout out to our good friend and big Colonel fan, Scooter Duff. He's got to work right now, but he's tuned in thanks to the miracle of technology. Colonels lead 16-7, and yes, Scooter, they are on fire right now. Colonels on defense, though, trying to keep Honaker from bouncing back after the timeout. 3 ball on the way from Brett Boyd. High rebound, still loose. Robinette grabs it and then is fouled. The 6'8 man, hard to deny even when you box him out in half position, Oscar. He'll go to the free throw line with 2:32 left to play in the first.
Colonels leading 16-7 with 2:32 remaining here in the first quarter.
Hey, folks, remember, first quarter brought to you by English's. Your headquarters for Carhartt apparel for men. They've got the spring line of Carhartt stuff in there. It's great looking, comfortable, and functional. It's available today at English's, your complete home center. 16-8. Robinette sinks the first, spins the basketball. Second one, nothing but nylon. 16-9. Altavista's lead gets cut into from the free throw line by the big man Tanner Robinette from Honaker. Ooh, Malback with a long pass, and it tipped out of Poindexter's hands and was stolen away by Blake Stinson.
Mateo picked up his dribble in the backcourt, and you just can't do that.
Hilton trying to drive in, left baseline. Got Hughes up in the air. Shot wouldn't fall. Robinette had it momentarily.
He lost that on the way up.
Nelson Dews bringing it up far sideline, in and out of traffic. Nice one-hand pass over to Poindexter, and then he was going to go to Galliard. That was stolen away by Robinette, who got back in a hurry.
Colonel's a little bit loose with the ball on that possession.
And Honaker is a good defensive team. Now here's a steal by Altavista. Actually, not just yet. This ball is loose. Bodies flying everywhere.
That's a tough call.
Looked like a pile-up on the interstate somewhere, and there is going to be a foul called on number 3, Mateo Malback.
No, that should be three on.
That's on Brandon Sample, number 3 for Hoehne.
And that's a tough break. They were both going for the ball, loose ball situation. Both kids diving for the ball. That's always a tough call.
Yeah, it's kind of whoever gets to that spot first, whoever gets on the ground first sometimes. Nelson Dews had to get Mateo Malback's attention. He inbounded it right in front of us. Mateo taking his time getting into the front court. Long cross-court pass over to the far sideline. McClure lost the ball on the way up, but they say it was poked out of his hands by a Hoehne player.
Well, Josh has done a good job trying to get to the rim and trying to get into the body of Tanner Robinette, and that's absolutely the right thing to do against the big guy.
Watch out for the lob pass. Galliard wanted it. Malback thought better of it and threw it instead to Nelson Dews near half court. 1:38 left to play. Colonels lead 16-9. Malback triggers the three. In and out, no good. Poindexter on the offensive board from the right side. Stuck in for 2. 18-9 on the offensive putback by Daquan Poindexter.
Well, Mateo's shot went down and out. I thought it was going to stay down. And again, once again, Daquan Poindexter in the right spot. Great job of boxing out. Easy follow with the 2.
Man-to-man defense for the Colonels. Lawrence Galliard just got his hand caught in the cookie jar going for the steal. That's a reach-in foul on number 15, Lawrence Galliard.
And in this ball game with Lawrence Galliard, you can't afford to have him 18 feet away from the basket reaching on a guard.
Yeah, you're gonna get enough fouls on Robinette inside, absolutely. Hoehne having to work hard to get the basketball in here with 1:16 left to play. They lob it in the backcourt, and Nelson Dews steals it. Colonel fast break. Now they'll slow down. Nelly, left wing 3, count it! Nelson Dews and Marcus Dunham needs another timeout for Hoehne. Colonels lead 21-9. 1:09 left to play in the first on 105.5 KD Country.
Hey, this is Mitch at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center. Come check out our large selection of appliances, furniture, mattresses, and lawn care equipment. We carry top brands such as Frigidaire, Whirlpool, Samsung, Maytag, Speed Queen, Best Home Furnishings, Bassett, Ashley, Sealy, Sierra Sleep, and a full line of Husqvarna products. With 0% interest for up to 48 months and customer service you can trust, we will make your buying experience easy and affordable. So come on down and see us today at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center, 606 7th Street, Altavista, Virginia.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels stroking it from long distance. They lead 21-9. 1:09 left to play in the first quarter, and Hoehne has lost the basketball in the backcourt. The Altavista defense is applying pressure to the Tigers that I do not think Hoehne was ready to handle, Oscar. 1:07 left to play in the first now. 21-9. Altavista on top. Nelson Dews catches 5 feet inside the right sideline. Colonels in the home white jerseys. They are the number 1 seed from the East region. There's a travel violation. Stepped out of bounds. Okay. We're at the scorer's table here. Well, not at the scorer's table. We're across from the scorer's table on press row at Salem Civic Center.
Well, a lot of ex-Colonels in the building today.
Yeah, they are. We'll talk about some of them. They're having a good time here today.
Donovan Montague sitting behind us.
Enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. And they are.
Hoehne basketball. Hilton drives the right side of the lane, and then he dumps it off to Robinette.
What a great job collapsing. They had 3 Colonels on him. Breakaway by Mateo. Malback finishes the lay-in with the right hand. 23-9. It's all Altavista right now with 30 seconds left to play in the first. Let's see if Hoehne can get a response going here in the last few seconds of this first quarter. Altavista looks like they may be in the zone defense now. They lob it down to Robinette. Robinette catch and shoot very quickly. Good for 2. 23-11. Tanner Robinette scoring the last 2 for Hoehne. Down to 11 seconds. Blake Stinson with a free throw. Other than that, it's been all Tanner Robinette.
I would assume the Colonels want to hold for 1, but we'll see. Down to 3 seconds. Somebody's going to have to get a shot up. McClure and Sample dive on the floor after it. There's a loose ball tie-up, mutual possession. It's going to be Hoehne basketball in the possession arrow with 1.6 left to play in the quarter.
I mean, that'll bode well. The Colonels will get the ball coming into the second quarter now.
They flip it in to Stinson. Stinson fires. The long-range shot hit the iron in the backboard. Didn't go. We have played 1 from the Salem Civic Center. The Altavista Colonels on top, 23-11 over Hoehne. Second quarter on the way on 105.5 KD Country.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sunny Merriman Incorporated recognizes the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to the Salem Civic Center. We're just checking out the fan support here from the Colonels, and there is a good deal of Altavista fans. Danny Barber, listening back home on Broad Street, says it's sounding good, and the Colonels are looking good, folks. 23-11. Still 3 quarters of basketball left to play. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, Oscar.
No,
but Altavista right now looks solid.
Absolutely, they look solid. And you're right. You don't want to count your chickens. This is a very, very good Hoehne team. Colonels have done a good job disrupting, getting into the passing lanes, denying the ball into the Big Cat, although he's got 10 in the first quarter. But you're right, a lot of basketball left to play.
Even though he's got 10, they've done a pretty good job.
Absolutely, they have.
Nelson Dews hit a trio of three-pointers in that first quarter to really help Altavista. Cameron Hughes hit another long-distance shot. Malbeck started things off the first 5 points. He throws an overhead pass to Poindexter. Poindexter can't make it. Saved back in by McClure. Malbeck, pull-up, free-throw line, floater won't go. Robinette grabs the rebound, and then he's mugged by Daquan Poindexter.
And then Coach Harris pointing to, you got to think, and Daquan was 92 feet away from the basket. And you can't do a little reach in. Robinette clearly had the ball.
Yeah, Robinette did a nice job of pulling it into his chest here. He catches it half court. He'll dribble. Big man can do that, too. Now he hands off to guard Brandon Sample. Good ball moving. It goes right wing. Here comes a long three-pointer from Stinson. That hit the backboard first, poked out, and then Daquan Poindexter grabs it beyond the three-point ring. Colonels will just jog it into the front court here. 7:15 left to play in the second quarter. Bullet pass in the right corner goes to Cameron Hughes. Hughes lost it. He's in trouble. Bounces off to Poindexter. Poindexter had it stuffed away by Robinette. Hoehne basketball after the big block on the Big Cat.
Still like the play that Daquan went right into the body.
Hoehne going the other direction. Ball is loose. They get it to Robinette somehow. Robinette forces it in there. He probably feels like he's taken on a little bit too much contact. No whistles have been blown. We've got a total of 6 fouls on Altavista, 2 fouls on Hoehne.
That was the 7th.
They're letting them play a little bit, though, and that is the 7th foul on Altavista. That's on number 2, Nelson Dews.
And Colonels have got to be aware of the foul situation and not they've had 3 fouls that they shouldn't have had. Reaching 90 feet from the basket, reaching 20 feet from the basket. Got to just be careful.
Hoehne only puts one guy in the lane here on a 1-on-1 situation. It goes up and misses, and the shooter got the rebound, then he lost it, but he was fouled. Brandon Sample, the sophomore, missed the free throw, was able to track down his own rebound somehow, even though it was 4 white jerseys surrounding the bucket and only 2 gray Hoehne jerseys.
Lack of awareness, lack of hustle.
Somebody's got to box out the shooter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Somebody has always got to get the shooter.
Got another 1-on-1 situation. In and out on that.
Almost got that rebound.
Chancellor Mormon grabs it instead for the Colonels. Short pass off to Josh McClure. Altavista will run it across the timeline with 6:42 left to play. They lead 23-11. Colonels on top. They've led the entire ball game. Malbeck had the first 5 for Altavista. Nelson Dews with some long-range shooting. He'll try it again on a pull-up 3. That won't go. Nobody in the paint that time for Altavista. They rebounded so well in the first quarter, Oscar. Not so much here lately.
Yeah, that shot wasn't in flow of the offense. So Nelson kind of a little one off the dribble, took that 3. Sure, Coach Harris wants to see him a little bit more. The Big Cat.
Big Cat for 3. Won't go. It was straight on, just a little long. Nice rebound by Cameron Hughes. He underhands it over to Mateo Malbeck. And Colonels lead by 12.
And he can shoot the 3-pointer.
He's got a good-looking shot. I mean, he's the complete package, folks. And I know we keep talking about him. Not to do a disservice to the other guys on the court for Hoehne, but he's just that good. Cameron Hughes carried the basketball. Wanted to dribble to his right and put his palm under the basketball, and the referee saw it and called him for it. Here comes Jamal Thornhill for his first action. Daquan Poindexter returns to the game. They join Chancellor Mormon, Nelson Dews, and Mateo Malbeck. It's a 23-11 Altavista lead with 5:50 left to play in the half. Nice driving layup by Harley Hilton that won't go.
Colonels have had a couple of episodes. We'll talk about it in just a minute.
Malbeck driving, off balance, lay-in won't go. Got his own rebound, stick back won't go. Robinette grabs the rebound and clears it away with the big body.
Mateo should have finished that. He knows that.
Tigers into the front court. It's down low in the left corner to Sample. Sample with a nice drive and finish along the left baseline. Got by Malbeck, then scored it with the right hand.
Colonels have had trouble this year when they get that double-digit lead, hanging on to it. looks like they kind of lose focus and
take the foot off the gas a little bit, maybe. It's a 10-point lead now for Altavista. Thornhill steps into a two-pointer. That won't go. He's bumped to the deck. No whistle called. Rebounded by Hoehne. Hoehne's been very good on the glass here this first 3 minutes of the second quarter. Handoff goes to Hilton. Hilton driving. Left-hand finish will go off balance. Troy Harris has seen quite enough. He'll take a timeout. Let's take it with him. The Altavista lead down to 8. Just under 5 to play in the half on 105.5 KD Country.
Jumpstart your business on a winning note with the Altavista revolving loan. An opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Check in with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis, at Altavista Town Hall. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality, supporting the Altavista Colonels' winning tradition.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Oscar, I think a pretty good timeout by Coach Troy Harris there. He saw his team's lead dwindle down to 8. And I don't think the Colonels are playing bad, but, you know, we said it right before the timeout. We could see it just like Coach Harris. Colonels seem to be letting off the gas a little bit and maybe coasting somewhat.
Getting a little bit loose with the basketball. And I think a great timeout.
Not attacking the glass either, and that was the thing we were both so impressed with in the first quarter was Altavista rebounding. But in the second quarter, not so much here. We've played just over 3 minutes of this second quarter. We'll see how the last 5 minutes shakes out.
And they're doing the run out on the three-pointer, and they're really not doing it under control. They've been able to do the run out, and then Hoehne's doing a pump fake and driving to the basket.
Thornhill drive, lay-in will go. Nice crafty little layup there by number 20, Jamal Thornhill for the Altavista Colonels. His first points of the night brings Altavista's lead back to 10. They lob it down to Robinette. He catches up high, one power dribble, sticks up with the left hand, and he gets it to go. He had 4 white jerseys draped around him, and he still scored the bucket. 25-17 Colonel.
He took Rodney, I keep doing that. He kept Jamal Thornhill and took him. He took him about a foot off the floor, how strong Robinette is.
16-footer from Nelson Dews won't go. Colonels get the rebound. They'll attack again. Malback lost it, looking for help. One hands it to Jamal Thornhill. Jamal, one bounce pass up to Chancellor Mormon. Mormon will dribble with the right hand. Now flips off to Nelson Dews. Nelson, overhead pass to Jamal, left wing. Thornhill will study the defense. 3:52 left to play in the half. It's a 25-17 Colonel lead. Poindexter driving across the half-court line. He has to get rid of it. Pressure defense from Hoehne. Altavista still holding on to the basketball, but they're holding on with dear life. Left wing now to Daquan Poindexter. Steps into a 3. Front iron, no good. Robinette on the rebound from the left edge of the paint. 3:30 left to play in the half. Colonels lead at 8. This is Blake Stinson dribbling. They get it off to Robinette at the top of the post, and then he is fouled. Hits the deck hard. One of the rare times you'll see the big man on the floor. He's pretty sturdy on his feet, and now he'll walk those feet over to the free throw line to shoot 2.
That's Daquan's third.
Not a good sign there for the Altavista Colonels. That is team foul number 9. So next foul they commit, Hoehne will be in the double bonus for the duration of this half. Robinette's first one goes in, just barely nicked the front of the iron. It's a 25-18 Altavista Colonel lead now. Cameron Hughes back in the ball game. He'll join Mateo Malback, Nelson Dews, Jamal Thornhill, and Chancellor Mormon. On the court for the Fleas, it's the Hoehne Tigers, but they're wearing the Flea uniforms. We'll talk about it again in a half. Tanner Robinette, who sinks the free throw. Harley Hilton, Brandon Sample, Blake Stinson, and number 4, Brett Boyd. 3:15 left to play. It's 25-19 Altavista. Lowest their lead has been for a while. Thornhill dribbling, right hand, waist high, tried to flip the scoop layup. Robinette is having none of that. He just calmly rejects it right out of bounds.
Jamal was able to, last time he was able to make that penetration move, was able to get, Robinette was a little bit out of position. Not that time.
Colonels will throw the inbound pass to Malback. He catches just outside the three-point ring, right wing. Nelly, crossover dribble, trying to work on Stinson. Drives, pull up, 14-foot jumper.
Wow.
Go. Robinette skies in for the rebound. Jamal Thornhill took it away from him.
Then he got fouled.
Thornhill went up and got stuffed away. Maybe a foul. Basketball's out of bounds. Who's it off of?
Have the
referees made a call?
It's Colonel's ball.
I think it is Colonel's ball there. Referees are letting them play, though. We've said that on both sides. Like I said, Robinette probably feels like he's deserving of a call or two when he's got 4 or 5 Colonels draped on.
The Colonels have had a lot of success on the inbounds play with that play down the middle where they do it to Galliard for the slam. Remember, that was the key point last year in the state championship game when they did that with Juan. That really started to turn the tide. I'm sure they've seen it on ESPN. They're very familiar with it.
Well schooled. Colonel's doing a dribbling exhibition out near the timeline. Maulback driving, scoop, layup goes in on the awkward finish there. He had to kind of reverse himself, threw it up almost behind his back there and around Robinette. Yep, 27-19. Colonel's lead extended. 2:15 left to play. Here comes a catch-and-shoot 3 from Brett Boyd. Oh, in and out, just won't go. Hoeneker's had a lot of those in-and-out type of shots.
So have the Colonels.
Good point. Valid point. 2:04 left to play in the half. Nelson driving, right-hander. He's fouled before the shot goes up. That foul is on the floor. It's just the 3rd team foul on the Hoehne Tigers with 2:02 left to play. Altavista sporting the 8-point advantage.
Colonels are lining up like they're shooting free throws.
Good try anyway, right?
Yeah. You can get away with it.
Chancellor Mormon going to do the honors on the inbound. Right baseline. Movement from Altavista as they hand the ball. Maulback hit the deck trying to fight through some tough defense. It's to Jamal Thornhill. Short pass to half court to Cameron Hughes. Hughes directing traffic a little bit. He'll underhand it to Mormon. Ooh, Mormon nearly lost the dribble. He wanted to pass. Now he finally does two-hand it to Mateo Maulback standing inside the half-court circle with 1:40 left to play in the half.
Out in a man. Hoehne in a man-to-man. Colonels spread it, double stack at the top.
Colonels lead by 8. In the corner to Hughes. Hughes thinks about the 3. Now he decides to drive. Calmly knocks down the floating 17-foot jump shot for 2.
And now the lead's back up to 10. Cameron Hughes, huge minutes off the bench here, and with Daquan Poindexter in foul trouble, you're going to have to have
guarding. He's guarding Robinette.
He just got
forced Robinette out to the 3-point line. It's a battle going on down there. They throw it to Robinette, and I think they're going to call a foul on Cameron Hughes.
Cameron Hughes is really doing a great job against Robinette.
Tanner Robinette going to go to the free throw line and shoot 2. That foul is on Cameron Hughes. 10th one on Altavista as a team. 1:16 left to play in the Englishes, your complete home center second quarter. Remember, whole new line of spring Carhartt gear is available. You'll look good, you'll feel good too, and the price isn't bad either. Robinette sinks the first free throw, 29-20. Altavista on top. Robinette is getting after it, folks. 10 in the first quarter. Sinks that one there. How many in the second quarter,
6 so far.
Okay, 16
4
total.
Hey, with 1 minute left, 4 of those from the free throw line. You'll take that as a Colonels fan.
Yeah, just 1 field goal for Robinette here in this second quarter. I think you're absolutely right. Make him earn it from the free throw line. Down to 62 seconds left to play in the quarter. 8-point Altavista lead. Nelson Dews jumps to catch a Mormon pass at the right wing. Nelly drives, steps back, crossover dribble, working on Stinson. Now he'll hand it off and take a break. Off to Maulback. Maulback. Oh, awkward layup there. He nearly got it to go. Somehow he got it near the rim. Mateo Maulback was only about a foot off the ground when he threw it towards the backboard.
And it was falling off balance.
Hoehne basketball in the front court. They're scoring on the left-hand bucket. Thornhill, nice defense. It's to Robinette, the right elbow. He'll drive, get to the left edge of the paint. Soft floater won't go. Nelson Dews grabs it. He's got to run out to the front of the rim. Oh, it got blocked away by Harley Hilton. Hilton just kind of volleyball spiked that one out of bounds. It'll be Altavista basketball, but maybe that gives Hoehne a bit of momentum with 25 seconds left in the half.
Well, it certainly looks like the Colonels were able to pick up a layup, and nice job by the trailing defender to be able to get up and block that.
Galliard has not been in a while. McClure has not been in the game in a while. Colonels are using the bench a lot more today. Hughes driving, bump. They're going to call a foul on the floor, I believe. I don't think he was in the act of
That's
shooting.
only the 4th, so, nice play. You've got 2 more to give if you're Hoehne. So,
yeah, not a bad foul.
Being a well-coached team, they're not going to go to the free throw line. Continue to do that.
Altavista will inbound baseline right with 22 seconds left to play. Mormon looking for somewhere to go. Bounces in the Maulback. Maulback's floater doesn't hit the iron. He got it back, then it was blocked away. Hoehne on the run out now themselves. Brent Coleman. Coleman's lay-in will fall. Wow, there are bodies everywhere. The cameraman got knocked over. There's at least 4 people on the deck, and Brent Coleman is still on the ground. Cameron Hughes has just now gotten up. Nelson Dews is still on the ground. What happened over there on the left baseline when Brent Coleman scored the bucket? I don't know, Oscar. Well, I know there's something to be said for letting them play, but when 3 guys hit the ground, do you think maybe there's a foul there?
Well, it was contact.
Brent Coleman is checking on Nelson Dews now in a nice show of sportsmanship.
I didn't see Nelson over there.
I don't think Brent Coleman is really feeling very good right now.
No.
He's kind of holding his nose and his mouth and now his left eye a bit. And he checked on Nelson Dews. Nelly may have taken the worst of it.
Well, we're blocked by the stanchion, so we can't see exactly what's going on with Nelson.
Dean Hubbard, athletic director, is over there. Phil Tinsley, assistant coach for the Colonels, is over there. Angela Emerson, the trainer, is over there. It's 6.9 seconds left to play in the half as we reach a little bit of an injury stoppage. The Colonels lead by 6 after an awkward layup by Brent Coleman that went in from the right edge of the paint. He was hit fairly hard by Nelson Dews and Cameron Hughes. All 3 guys ended up on the floor. They tumbled into a camera lady that is sitting there about 10 feet beyond the baseline. It was not a good situation. The officials wisely stopped play. It's going to be Altavista basketball. They may even give it to him at half court, Oscar. With 6.9 seconds left to play, Colonels with plenty of time for a last-second shot.
They were in the front court when they blew the whistle. And at first, I didn't see Nelson over there. So all we saw was Coleman. They blew the whistle, which they're not. If it was just the Honaker player, they would have let him play.
Right.
Until there was a dead ball situation, or certainly until Honaker got the ball.
Let's take a timeout while they sort out the injury situation. 6.9 seconds left in the half. Colonels lead by 6, and they'll have the basketball when we come back on 105.5 KD Country.
Some people have never tried food at a Mexican restaurant. So we asked Chad Shelton from Shelton's Plumbing and Heating about his experience.
I wasn't so sure what the green stuff was, but they slipped some on my plate one day, and now I won't have a meal without guacamole. Still can't spell it.
At El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, if you have questions, they give you the answers in English. Mexican and American foods, affordable prices, and fast service. Try it today. El Cazador, Main Street, Altavista.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Nelson Dews is up and on his feet, holding a towel towards his face area. We'll try and see what the issue is. They're still over there, but they're going to put the basketball back in play here. It's Colonels basketball on the near sideline. That's the right sideline for them. 6.9 seconds left to play in the half. Malbec catches. He'll dribble to the left. Now he'll go to the right, uses a screen from Mormon. Gets it to Hughes in the corner. Hughes for 3. It would have counted. He got it off before the buzzer, but it hit the back plate and wouldn't go. Interesting first half of basketball. Colonels still have a lead, 29-23. Subway halftime show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country. Hey, Oscar, my insurance situation isn't too good. I need to find somebody new.
Just call Mike Kinlaw. I've been a customer of his for over 20 years.
Mike Kinlaw, huh? I always knew he was a big Colonel fan.
Well, he's an independent insurance agent, so he can shop around and make sure you get the best rates. I mean, you can go online and try the Lizard or the guy that wears khakis, but hey, he's an Altavista graduate. He supports the teams. He's involved in the community. You can't get more than that.
Sounds like I'm calling Kinlaw Insurance Agency.
Yeah, call Mike at 369-5612.
369-5612.
When you need an important business loan, you want to deal with a decision maker who will respond quickly. I'm Penny Wallace with local First National Bank at our airport branch. I'm focused on business customers, and we have a streamlined process to help you with any loan need. I can offer various business loans for real estate, new equipment, and credit lines. So for better business banking, think of us first. That's local First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation
serving families since 1905.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show arrives. Pardon me, Oscar. Got ahead of myself. I was going to tell folks, remember, the only wrong choice at Subway is not going and opening the door. And with 3 easy, convenient locations around town, Main Street, inside the Walmart on Clarion Road, and then further up the road on Route 29, why wouldn't you head over to Subway right now while you're listening to Colonel's basketball? Altavista leads 29-23. Interesting second quarter there, though. It looked like it was all Colonels at the end of the first quarter, and then Hoehne, probably as expected, started fighting back.
Yeah, Colonels were only able to get 6 points in that quarter. They had some opportunities, but really Tanner Robinette, I don't know how many blocks he had in the second half, in the second quarter, but he certainly started to exert his dominance on the defensive end on that. Colonels had a couple of nice looks from threes that really went down. We thought they were going to stay down, but didn't. Of course, on the converse of that, Honaker had the same opportunity. They had a couple of threes that looked like they were going to stay down and rimmed out.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the second quarter, and you're absolutely right. Altavista did cool off from a shooting standpoint. They hit 4 3-pointers in the first quarter. I don't think they had any in the second quarter, did they, Oscar? They only scored 6 points total. Yeah, that's one of their low-scoring outputs of the season. Another shout-out to the Farmers again. Stephen Farmer says the gang is listening back at home there on Main Street in Altavista. Everybody rooting on the Colonels hard. There is a good crowd here from Altavista. We just saw the Lady Colonels walk by and head to their dressing room. They will play after the guys. This is the Subway halftime show. We'll come back. Oscar and I will run down some scoring totals and see what both ball clubs can do in the second half. Altavista, 29. Hoehne, 23. You're hearing it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
English is so much more. English is more than a hardware store.
Springtime clothing from Carhartt is arriving daily at English's The Complete Home Center. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability, is on display at English's with a full line of menswear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats, sizes up to 4X. Special orders and accessories available. Visit the Carhartt Clothing Department at English's, North Main Street, Altavista.
Life happens: divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30 years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. David W. Shreve wishing good luck to the Altavista boys basketball team in the playoffs. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista, or by phone 369-6621.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
The Altavista Colonels pep band is in the house here at the Salem Civic Center. Well, really adding to the atmosphere, aren't they?
They update their playlist, too, man.
Yes, they do.
I mean, they are. They're not doing the old 25 or 6 to 4 from Chicago now. They're doing current stuff. Pretty cool.
I do like 25 or 6 to 4.
I do too. All the Chicago stuff.
Colonels lead by 6. Oscar, tell us how each of these teams got to that scoring total.
Boy, first for Hoehne, it's pretty simple. Brandon Sharp with a 3, Harley Hilton with 2, Blake Stinson with 1, Brent Coleman with 2, and Tanner Robinette with 16. The big 2 for that, right, might be the Brent Coleman. The layup and subsequent contact after, you have to wonder exactly how that's going to play out with the injury to Nelson Dews. He was holding, of course, looked like a bloody nose from our perspective. But we know Nelson, he's a tough competitor. If there's any way possible, we know he'll be back. For the Colonels, pretty balanced scoring. 5 big points from Cameron Hughes. Nelson Dews with 9. Mateo Malbeck with 9. Daquan Poindexter with 2. Important note there, Daquan's in a little bit of foul trouble with 3. Lawrence Galliard with 2. Jamal Thornhill with 2. And that's 29 points for the Colonels. They lead 29-23 here at halftime with about 2.5 minutes left.
A couple of interesting notes. You asked about Tanner Robinette, how many blocks he had. He only has 2 blocks. He's got 1 steal, but he has 10 rebounds. Another interesting note, the rebounding battle is tied amongst the teams, 17-17. Certainly we thought the Colonels had more in the first. Hoehne obviously had erased the deficit in the second. A lot of guys for the Colonels rebounding well. Everybody has multiple rebounds. Seems like that's got in the ball game for the most part.
I think the big discrepancies there, if you look, is on the defensive rebounds for the Colonel. They've got 12. Honaker only with 4 offensive rebounds. So the Colonels are doing a good job on the defensive end, blocking out and keeping Honaker from getting those additional shots.
Well, and normally when you have a big man like Tanner Robinette, the missed shot is your best friend because he's right around the rim. He'll catch it and just stick it back up. So you're absolutely right. Tanner Robinette only has 2 offensive rebounds. You're limiting his extra touches. 29-23, Altavista on top. It's the Subway halftime show. Remember to eat fresh at every Subway location around Altavista, Main Street, inside the Walmart on Clarion Road, and then further up the road on Route 29 inside Foster Fuels. I believe they're listening at all those locations as well. And a shout out to the folks inside Foster Fuels. Angie, Nicole, Callie, Whitney, Alyssa, and Dylan. Don't know what combo is in there today, but I'm sure they're having fun and pumping out some great service. OB, before the Subway halftime show ends, what do you think for the second half? Nelson Dews is back out there warming up, so apparently he's going to give it a go, and he's okay. That's good news if you're a Colonel fan.
He was late coming out and had ice packed on his nose, so, you got to wonder with a blow like that, watching him, he's hit his first 2 from three-point warm-up here, so maybe he's not affected, but certainly the Colonels, if they can keep it a little up-tempo and maintain that defensive intensity that they showed in the first quarter that let them get that lead, they were getting into the passing lanes. They were doing a great job collapsing. I think both quarters they did a great job of collapsing on Robinette, even though he's got 16, only with 1 2-point or 1 basket from the field in that second quarter. So if they can continue to do that, knock down a couple threes, I think they've got a great chance.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner Robinette is coming into the game averaging 28 points per game, so he's slightly over his average, I guess, if he's got 16 in the first half. But I don't think you feel like you did a bad job on him. I agree about the up-tempo. I mean, it feels like the Colonels came out with great energy, didn't it? The first 4 or 5 minutes of that first quarter, they sort of rode that wave of energy. Then it felt like maybe that wave crested there when the first quarter ended. They got to find a way to get it back just a little bit. It'll be Honaker basketball to start the second half. Subway halftime show is done. And remember, Lady Colonels hoops on after this. Altavista with a 6-point lead. We've got 16 more minutes of regulation ball to play. Colonels will not send the starters back out. Cameron Hughes will join Nelson Dews, Josh McClure, Lawrence Galliard, and Mateo Malbeck. Get it in quickly to Brett Boyd. Boyd circles the D, then throws it back up top to Harley Hilton. Hilton chest pass goes to Brandon Sample. Now it's a 3-ball on the way from Stinson. That will not fall. It hit the front of the iron, collected by Lawrence Galliard nicely.
And I like the move by Coach Troy Harris to not start Daquan, who's got 3 fouls. I think it's a great move and the right thing to do. You want to have Daquan available as you get deeper into the ballgame.
And Cameron Hughes did play a really good first half, too, so I don't think he's going to hurt you one bit out there. Colonels in the white jerseys working right to left now. Nelly threw up a scoop layup that would not go, and then an offensive foul on Josh McClure called as he went after the rebound. This is going to be Honaker basketball. That is McClure's second foul. So that's good news if you're an Altavista Colonel fan. Colonels, I mentioned, use the bench.
They're saying that's his third.
Oh, boy. That's 3 fouls on Josh McClure, and he does head to the bench right now. This is going to be an interesting scenario for Altavista. Chancellor Mormon checks in the ball game to replace him. Hoehne basketball, scoring on the right-hand bucket from Oscar and I's perspective down here courtside at Salem Civic Center.
We talked about the probability that Altavista could get into foul trouble and the effect it would have on this game. It's coming to fruition right now. We'll have to see how the Colonel's depth and bench can respond.
Stinson drove, then was cut off. It's a 2-3 zone defense for Altavista. There's a long three-pointer from Brett Boyd. Boyd from 25 feet on the left wing. He was behind the NBA line. It's a 3-point lead for the Colonels all of a sudden. Wow. Not a lot of body language from either ball club. You'd think maybe it was tied or we were still in the first quarter, pardon me. Galliard's going to catch. He's at least 6 feet beyond the left wing three-point line. Robinette looks at the coach, Marcus Dunham, says, hey, do you want me to go out there and take him? You just want me to leave him alone? Now he will step out. Galliard wanted to drive. He'll pass back out to midcourt to Chancellor Mormon. 6:20 left to play in the third quarter. 3-point Altavista advantage. Maulback floats and scores from the right side of the paint there.
He's done a great job penetrating, getting into the body, and recognizing where Robinette is and making the adjustment.
Mateo's been one of the few guys that has scored with regularity around Robinette. Everybody else kind of shying away or having shots blocked. Hoehne basketball. It's a 2-3 zone for the Altavista Colonels. Jump pass gets it over to Brett Boyd, right wing. Boyd will fire again for three. No good. Offensive rebound by Harley Hilton. Back to Boyd. Boyd throws it top of the key to Robinette. Robinette lost it. Colonels can't get it back. Galliard dove for it. Now they're going to call a foul on Chancellor Mormon. He was a bit late getting to the basketball as he and Blake Stinson really just a foot race to get over there to grab the loose one.
You know, it's easy as a Colonel's defender to keep your eye on Robinette when it comes to rebounding. And in that time, Cameron Hughes didn't maintain his responsibilities for boxing out.
Oh, nice play by Nelson Dews. Tips it up ahead to Maulback. Maulback finishes easily with the right hand. Colonels with back-to-back buckets from number 3, Mateo Maulback, to help spring them back to a 33-26 lead.
They closed it to 3. Nice job by the Colonels responding.
That's huge. Remember that moment right there. Cameron Hughes with a steal. He'll lop it up ahead to Mateo.
What a
Maulback,
pass.
another finish with the right hand on the lay-in.
Cameron Hughes with a great pass.
Hughes with the steal first off, and then just feathered the lob pass in there to Mateo Maulback, who finished with the right hand again. Colonels lead back up to 9.
We talked about them on the defensive end, getting into the passing lane, using their speed.
Boy, what a turnaround jumper from Harley Hilton. Gosh, just a sophomore? He caught it at the free throw line, turned around, and stroked it in nicely.
We talked about the Colonels at half with adjustments. If they could continue to get into the passing lanes, they've done that here early in this third quarter.
Man-to-man defense from the Honaker Tigers. Coach Harris thought they'd see a mixed bag of defenses. Go ahead.
We talk about height advantage, and certainly with Robinette, that's a huge advantage for Honaker. Team speed, big plus across the line for the Colonels.
There's a foul on Brett Boyd. He and Cameron Hughes were going at it down low, and Boyd using too much of the arms to try and shove Hughes away from the basket. 35-28, Colonels lead. 4:35 left to play in the third quarter. Third quarter presented by English's, your complete home center. Go say hello to Don, Brent, Jerry, Crystal, the whole gang down there at English's. Nelson Dews uses screen, drives, pulls up from 10 feet outside the paint. Tip in by Lawrence Galliard. Galliard skied up nicely and just poked it back towards the rim for 2. Colonels lead back to 9, 37-38. There's a steal by Nelly. Nelly's got a run out, checks the rear view for contact, lays it in, and is fouled. Nelson Dews with a steal. He had to shake off a busted nose at the end of the half, and Nelson Dews is back with the bucket and the foul. Here's a timeout on the floor by head coach Marcus Dunham for the Honaker Tigers. Let's take it with them. 4:09 left to play in the third quarter. Colonels lead by 11, 39-28 on 105.5 KD Country.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels started a little bit slowly in the third quarter, but boy, they have really stepped it up in the last 2.5 minutes, Oscar. They lead by 11. Mateo Malbec possibly trying to outdo brother Michi's 20-point performance last year against Honaker.
Well, Michi's in the crowd, and he's been very vocal.
He's having fun.
This thing started on the defensive end. It's been all defense. The steals, being able to get the breakaways. That last play, way before this one, with Nelson going to the free throw line, where Cameron got the ball, beautiful touch pass over the heads of the defenders to be able to get Michi in for that free throw.
Nelson Dews scores the free throw. 40-28, Altavista on top.
And what was a 3-point lead 2 minutes ago has been stretched to 12. Great job by the Colonels responding.
We thought Honaker was right back in this thing. Possibly a walking violation. No call. Brett Boyd throws it to Robinette. Robinette working inside.
Boy, and Cameron Hughes came from weak side, got position, extended his hands, and really disrupted that shot from Robinette.
Great job by Cameron Hughes on the defensive end. Lawrence Galliard has it. He's just going to hand it off to Nelson Dews. Honaker, man-to-man defense, doing a lot of chasing as the Colonels have great movement on offense. Nelly gets by, no looks it to Cameron Hughes. Hughes in trouble, throws it to Malbec outside the three-point line. Mateo, floater, shot doesn't go, rattled in and out. There's a rebound by Honaker. They're going up the far sideline. Brandon Sample in and out of traffic, looking for help, finds it to Blake Stinson. Here's a three ball on the way from Brett Boyd. Boyd sinks the three-pointer on the catch-and-shoot quick release. Lead back to 9 for Altavista.
That's his second of the quarter.
That's Nelson Dews in trouble along the baseline. Got bumped to the deck by Hilton and Boyd. It's Altavista basketball. It's an on-the-floor foul. Full 90 feet away from the bucket.
Kind of got bailed out. Colonels had some issues there. That's the third foul on Hilton.
Full court pressure from the Honaker Tigers. There's a steal. That was Blake Stinson that rose up to take it out of the air. Flips to Hilton. Hilton can't score the shot from the left side of the hoop, but he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Colonels, again, Oscar, seems like just a little loose with the basketball, maybe.
Well, and to give Honaker some credit, they cranked up the defensive intensity, picking them up full court. And Colonels, like you said, have gotten a little bit loose.
Yeah, a changing game plan there by Marcus Dunham. He hadn't run much full court pressure. They tried that little half-court trap for a while, but now it's a full court press. First free throw does not fall for Harley Hilton. He's a 6'2 sophomore. A lot of sophomores on this Honaker team.
Well, let's give credit, too. Nice job there by Chancellor Mormon. Gave 5 minutes of rest to Daquan Poindexter, who had 3 fouls. He's back in the game now.
Poindexter is back in the game. Nelson Dews going to race it up the near sideline. Now attacking the basket. Floater doesn't go. Rebound collected by Sample. He throws it up ahead to Brett Boyd. Brett Boyd stops at the three-point line. Hesitation. Gets Robinette at the top of the key. Robinette turns the basketball, rolled all the way around the cylinder, but would not fall down. He's going to the free throw line because of a Altavista Colonel foul. Let's see who it's on. That's on number 1, Cameron Hughes, his second. 4th team foul for Altavista this half. We've got 2:41 left to play in the third, Briggs. It's an 8-point Altavista advantage.
Robinette perfect from the line tonight. And, this Honaker team is not going to go away. If you're a Colonels player, Colonels fan, you got to keep your intensity.
Robinette missed that one woefully. Barely hit the front of the iron.
Announcer's jinx.
Try it again sometime.
Absolutely.
No. We don't wish any ill will on anybody. Malbec directing traffic. Throws to the left wing to Poindexter. Now it's back to Galliard. Nelson Dews has it 5 feet in front of the half-court stripe. Just holds the basketball and waits for Brandon Sample to come out and administer the 5-second count. Nelly checks with the referee, sees how much room he has. 2:15 left to play. In the third quarter, Cameron Hughes had to tiptoe the far sideline to keep it. Behind the back dribble by Hughes. Number 1 in trouble in the far corner, then throws along with Lawrence Galliard. Colonel's doing a bit of keep away here with 2 minutes left to play in the third.
Nice job of Lawrence. Lawrence, try to get by Robinette.
I think they want to draw the big man out.
That's absolutely what they tried to do. They had him that time. Lawrence, somebody came over weak side help to help Lawrence.
Poindexter driving, scoop lay in, will fall. It rattled around for a minute, then went down. Nice play there by Daquan Poindexter. A burst of speed to the front of the iron. Colonels lead by 9 again, 42-33.
And that was aided by Galliard being able to draw Robinette out. Great job by the whole Colonels team.
Got him a little out of position, and it worked out. 90 seconds left to play in the third. Colonels double teaming Robinette, but he doesn't even have the basketball. Galliard steals it away. They were trying to go to the big cat. Nelson Dews weaving in and out of traffic. Spin move. Flips
What
it
a
off
pass.
the ball back
What
to
a
two.
pass.
What a great look by Nelly. The spin move got up in the air, drew the defense up with him, then laid it off to Mateo Malback, patiently waiting on the left side of the iron.
And we've talked about this a lot about this Colonel's team. This group is very, very unselfish.
3 ball on the way from Harley Hinton. That won't go. Up ahead again to Malback. He's going to try and outrace the defense, and he couldn't. Last touch off of Hoehne.
Colonel's might have got a break on that.
But
we'll take it.
Yeah, 55 seconds left to play. The English is your complete home center third quarter. It's an 11-point Altavista advantage. Colonels will inbound on the left baseline. They throw it in short to Cameron Hughes. Hughes flips to Lawrence Galliard. Galliard's going to hold it and try and draw Robinette out of it. Now he gets rid of it over to Nelson Dews on the far sideline. Colonels scoring on the left bucket from Oscar and I's perspective. They're in the home white jerseys with the orange trim. 38 seconds left to play in the third now. 44-33, Colonels on top playing keep away against a man-to-man Honaker defense. Colonels did this some last year when Honaker was trying to come back in the second half. Remember that, OB?
Yep.
Nelson Dews races through a couple screens and grabs the basketball.
They had Robinette away from the basket. Nelson tried to turn the corner.
Cameron Hughes posting up down low, can't get the basketball. He'll retreat past the three-point line. Down to 12 seconds. Nelson Dews sees the clock. He knows the score and the situation. Hesitation dribble, going to his right, lost the basketball. Ooh, last touch off of Nelly. It was poked away by Blake Stinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Went off Nelson's foot.
Good defense from Stinson.
That's right, nice defense. And Colonels can play tough defense here.
6.6 seconds left. Stinson driving hard to his right. Underhands it to Hilton. Hilton fires for three. No good. Cameron Hughes on another rebound, and then he is plowed as he catches the board. They're going to call a foul on Blake Stinson on that, but the time has run out in the third quarter. One more quarter of regulation basketball as there's a bit of bad blood as the teams head back to their respective huddles to end the third quarter. Colonels lead by 11. Fourth quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Hey, this is Mitch at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center. Come check out our large selection of appliances, furniture, mattresses, and lawn care equipment. We carry top brands such as Frigidaire, Whirlpool, Samsung, Maytag, Speed Queen, Best Home Furnishings, Bassett, Ashley, Sealy, Sierra Sleep, and a full line of Husqvarna products. With 0% interest for up to 48 months and customer service you can trust, we will make your buying experience easy and affordable. So come on down and see us today at Altavista Appliance Home and Lawn Center, 606 7th Street, Altavista, Virginia.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 44-33 with 8 minutes of regulation left to play. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. The sound engineer is Eleanor Hoehne, doing a fabulous job. One more shout-out here, OB. My great friend, Dan the Man, Daniel Tanner, listening down there in North Carolina with Abby. The miracle of technology, man. The TuneIn app, kdcountry.com. You're never far away from basketball. What do you think for the last quarter of regulation ball here?
I think that the Colonels have to maintain that intensity on the defensive end. That was the big key in that quarter. And also the big cat, Tanner Robinette, with 1 point in that quarter. Great job defensively by the Colonels, collapsing teamwork and keeping him from scoring.
7:55 left. It's Colonels basketball to start the third. Josh McClure back in the game. He threw it away. There's a steal by Brett Boyd. Boyd in trouble on the far sideline. He lost it. Round ball going back to Altavista.
Let's give the Colonels bench some credit. To be
big
able to
time
give Josh McClure and Daquan Poindexter the minutes that they got on the bench and expand the lead from 6 to 11 in that quarter is just huge.
It was a lot of Cameron Hughes. Chancellor Mormon played a big role in as well. Nelson Dews catches left point in between the sideline and half-court stripe. Now it's down in the right corner, Josh McClure. McClure triggers the three, missed. Galliard on the rebound.
Wow.
And the stick back. Kind of had to lean for it, threw it up in an odd angle, got it to go. Colonels now lead 46-33. Altavista playing to get back in the state Final Four, which you believe the 10th time in school history. There's a steal by Altavista. Nelson Dews lobs it up ahead to Malback, and Malback scores again on another run-out lay-in. There's another timeout from Honaker. Let's take it as well. 48-33. Colonels lead by 15. We've still got 7 minutes left to play in the fourth on 105.5 KD Country.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sunny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 48-33. OB, would you believe it was just a 3-point lead midway through the third quarter there?
Boy, and again, I hate to keep saying it because I'm repeating itself, but it's come on the defensive end. They continue to get in the lanes, continue to get the breakaway points. The team speed here is really, really one-sided, and the Colonels are exploiting it.
Could not agree with you more.
Well, you could.
I could try and agree with you more. 2-3 zone defense for Altavista. Inside it goes. Missed shot. McClure's there to grab the rebound. That was Harley Hilton that couldn't get it to go. McClure in and out of traffic. Tried to one-hand it down to Malback, and that was stolen away by Sample. Brandon Sample in transition. Sidesteps the defender. Floater goes in. Nice individual effort there from Brandon Sample. Gets the steal and then scores it on the other end.
Sample's a good-looking ball player.
And just another sophomore. No kidding. Up ahead, 2-on-1. Nelly no looks at the McClure, and McClure finishes around Robinette nicely. 50-35. Colonels lead back to 15.
And if I told you that the Colonels had a 15-point lead going in with 6 minutes left in the quarter, and Josh McClure had 2 points, would you believe it?
Robinette goes to the basket. He sort of shoved Poindexter to the ground in the process. Nelson Dews, 1-on-3, sinks it anyway from the left baseline. Nelly pulled up from 12 feet, no numbers, didn't matter, he made the shot.
From the side, and that is not an easy shot.
Nelson Dews feeling it here. There's a steal by Lawrence Galliard. Colonels really have it going, and you see Malback gesture to the guys, hey, slow it down just a little bit. Don't let the energy bubble over the pot. Let it go to a simmer, but don't lose the out of control. Three-pointer in, they called a long two from Daquan Poindexter. Nobody covered Daquan Poindexter, and he knocked down a 19-footer for 2.
Boy, and there's a vocal group behind the Honaker bench of Altacrystal fans, and they are pointed on the Honaker team.
54-35. Colonels lead by 19. 3 ball on the way from Stinson. Rattles around, won't go. Rebound by Josh McClure in the middle of the paint. Robinette was the only gray jersey in there with Altavista.
He's been a non-factor here in this quarter.
He really has.
In the second half.
He's got 1.5 points so far.
It's 1.5.
Hard to believe, but the Colonels have done such a good job on him. You know, we thought it would be Josh McClure bottling him up, but McClure with the foul trouble wasn't out there a whole lot. It's just been a total team effort.
And they have done a great job collapsing. Again, it's been great team defense.
Special emphasis there on Cameron Hughes because he really did a great job in the third quarter on Robinette. Galliard has it at the free throw line. Right corner to McClure. McClure driving in, pitches to Mateo Malback beyond the three-point arc. Now it's back to Nelson Dews around half court. Nelly going to take the air out of the ball and take some time. They throw it down to the far corner to McClure. Classic game of keep away here for the Altavista Colonels. Not really looking to score until Honaker brings the defense out and extends it the way they like it. McClure has it, sees Robinette, missed the shot though. Robinette didn't block it, but he clearly affected it. Tanner Robinette in transition with a behind-the-back dribble. Look at the big cat move. Spin move to the deck. McClure just got plowed.
Yeah, Josh McClure was firmly entrenched. That's an awful no call. Awful.
Robinette really with a power move to the bucket for 2. 54-37. Colonels still lead. First bucket for Honaker in a long time. Malback lost the basketball, flips it over to McClure. McClure, nobody in his face, and he's got a free look at 2 points from the left side of the hoop.
As Honaker starts to press defensively, they've got to get on the ball outside. It's creating some mismatches as the Colonel's able to turn the corner.
Not sure they have the speed for it. There's Blake Stinson driving in. He hit the deck hard. Nice sportsmanship by Galliard to help him up. Blake Stinson couldn't convert the shot. They'll go to the free throw line and shoot a pair.
Colonels by 19, leading 56-37.
They were up by 3 midway through the third quarter. So that was about 8 minutes of basketball ago, really. You know, when you look at it, when you put it in those terms. 8 minutes ago, they only led by 3. They lead by 18 now. Stinson cans the first free throw. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. Thanks so much for joining us here on KD Country. So glad to be part of this basketball tradition that we have been for so long. Stinson makes the next one. Nearly a steal there by the Honaker Tigers. They're playing pressure defense in the backcourt, but as soon as Altavista breaks the timeline, Agent Zero, Altavista seems to have a much easier time.
Well, they are.
Nice long pass to midcourt by McClure. And he throws it backwards to Malbeck. Back to McClure. Two-man game right here so far for the Colonels. McClure in trouble on the far sideline, and then he's fouled. I think Blake Stinson got him with an elbow. And that is team foul number 5.
That's only the 15th foul. With 4:08 remaining here, Colonels leading 56-39.
4:05 left to play. Colonels on top. Won't say it's over just yet, though. This Hoehne ball club is capable. I feel like there's going to have to be some three-pointers in there if they do want to make a comeback. They're going to have to get some steals, too.
Well, and if Colonels continue to run clock like they have,
Nelson
it's going to be a difficult task.
Jump pass to the far sideline to Malbeck. Now it's McClure driving up and under lay-in finish. Doesn't go down. Big man Tanner Robinette grabs the rebound. Up ahead to Stinson. No look in the corner to Hilton. Hilton's shot won't go. McClure ran the floor nicely, got back and grabbed the rebound.
Did a nice job boxing out, too. Robinette looks gassed, and he hasn't been off the court yet.
Malbeck, floater falls, and he hits the deck hard. Great finish by Mateo Malbeck.
Wiped out the cameraman again. Apparently he hadn't learned his lesson.
Don't sit there. Nice job by Harley Hilton to help Mateo Malbeck up, and another good display of sportsmanship. Honaker sporting the throwback jerseys. They say fleas on them. That's what they were known as 92 years ago when they won a state championship. They're going to have to be a little more pesky than this. Calliard grabs an offensive rebound and saves it into Mateo Malbeck on the missed shot. And then here's a foul right in front of us. Hunter Eaton in the ball game now, and Hunter Eaton commits the foul. Malbeck going to trot over here near us to inbound it with 3:25 left to play in the fourth quarter.
That's their 6th.
Troy Harris discussing some things with the officials. I think they thought Coach Harris wanted a timeout. He did not.
Exactly what it was.
17 foul on Honaker, so it's actually a 1-1 situation for Malbeck.
I think.
Probably so. 58-39. Malbeck can stretch this to a 20-point lead. First one's on the way, and good. There it is. Colonels lead 59-39 with 3:25 left to play. Lady Colonels basketball after this. Don't go changing. Malbeck's second one on the way. That hit the front of the iron, didn't go. Tanner Robinette secures the rebound. Honaker's got to be in a big hurry. They trail by 20 with just over 3 minutes to play. Here's Hilton. Hilton driving. Back to Stinson. Hilton has it again in the far corner. Catch and shoot 3 is good. That's a good start. Colonels still lead by 17, though. 3:05 left to play in the ball game. Full court pressure coming up for the gray jersey Honaker Tigers. There's a foul. Stinson just slapped at the hand of Nelson Dews.
And let's give credit to Nelson Dews. He's played the whole half with gauze up his nose, taking a really rough shot late in the second quarter.
Yeah, he and Brent Coleman and Cameron Hughes all hit the deck hard on a Brent Coleman layup for Honaker. Cameraman was involved in that one, too. Nelly stayed down for a long time. Don't know how badly the nose is damaged, but he does have gauze in it right now to stop the bleeding. Sinks the free throw. He has played outstanding in this second half, though. 60-42. Colonels lead back to 18. 2:48 left to play in the contest. In the Englishes, your complete home center fourth quarter. Nelson cans the second one as well. 19-point advantage for Altavista. Here's Stinson driving, left hand, flips it to Eaton. Eaton's shot won't go. There's Tanner Robinette on the right side of the dish, grabs the rebound, sticks it in for 2.
That's the second field goal of the second half.
Wow, unbelievable. And we're talking about a guy that averages nearly 28 points per game, probably going to be the state player of the game. Here's a timeout from head coach Troy Harris. Let's take it with him. 2:34 left to play in regulation. Colonels lead 61-44 on 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE Altavista, Lynchburg.
Jumpstart your business on a winning note with the Altavista revolving loan. An opportunity to score big for your company's future growth. Funds available up to $10,000. Loan rate 1% below prime. Check in with Altavista's Economic Development Director, Dennis Jarvis, at Altavista Town Hall. The Altavista Revolving Loan Fund encourages economic development and enhances community vitality, supporting the Altavista Colonels' winning tradition.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
2 minutes and 34 34 seconds remain in regulation. Desperation time now for the Honaker Tigers. It looks like the Colonels are on their way back to another state Final Four on the court at VCU. It would be their 4th in a row. It would be their 10th all-time. And there's a lot of basketball today, Oscar. We've got Lady Colonels on after this. My buddy Daniel and Abby are on their way up to the UVA basketball game. The Cothran family listening in Altavista have the Upward basketball. March basketball hard to beat. Nelson Dews fouled behind the half-court stripe by number 12, Hunter Eaton, and Nellie's going to go to the free throw line and shoot a 1-and-1.
You're going to see a parade of free throws between now and the end of the game. And you talk about all the basketball. There's another one going on down in Durham tonight, too.
Oh, man.
Hey, the last 90 ball games that they've played, Duke is 46-44. The total point spread is 16 points over those 90 games.
Incredible. Incredible, isn't it? Nelson sinks the first free throw, 62-44. Colonels on top and in command. Oscar said it, a parade of free throws to come here in the last 2.5 minutes as Honaker tries to somehow battle back in this thing. With an 18-point lead, Agent Zero, I mean, if the Colonels can just make half of them. Oh, what a block by Mateo Malbeck. He rose up to just swat it right out of the hands of Harley Hilton. Hilton thought he had an open look for 3. Mateo Malbeck thought otherwise. Boy, Mateo's played a great ball game, hasn't he?
Boy,
Player of the game's going to be a tough pick.
Is there a Colonel that hasn't played a great ball game?
Good point.
It has been a total team effort. They've gotten great contribution from the bench.
Three-pointer on the way from Hunter Eaton won't go. Galliard had the rebound momentarily but lost it. It was just kind of pushed out of his hands by number 20, Brent Coleman. Coleman never could secure it. 19 seconds left to play in the ball game. Oh, pardon me. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the ball game. I was thinking about it back to the first quarter when the clock didn't run for about 30 seconds. I'm sure the Colonel fans wish it had run then. But you never know what will happen at the end of the game. Colonels lead 63-44. Just over 2 minutes to play. Pardon me, I misspoke before. Mormon just sort of bats it over to Galliard outside the paint on the left wing. There's a foul as Mateo Malbeck catches and makes a move. Brent Coleman with the intentional foul.
That's a 10th team foul, so the Colonels will now be shooting 2 every time they go to the free throw line.
It's a 19-point lead with 2 minutes left to play. I'm not even sure they have to make half, Oscar. Maybe they just have to make 30 or 40% of them. Coach Harris would rather see every single one fall in. The first one does fall for Mateo Malbeck.
Colonels 8 of 10 from the line tonight.
Great stuff. It's a 20-point lead now for Altavista. I think Honaker's got to be a little bit more liberal about getting the three-pointers up, too, don't you?
The Colonels are aggressive defensively and not making it easy for them.
Good point. Looks like still a 2-3 zone for Altavista. Here's Hilton on the left wing. Stinson now driving inside the paint. Nice pass to get it over to Hunter Eaton, but Eaton couldn't finish. Robinette, on the other hand, can. Good job by Tanner Robinette. The horn has blown for some reason now. Oh, boy. Tanner Robinette has scored his 2,000th point. And the first guy to come over and shake his hand is Cameron Hughes. McClure over there next, all the players for Honaker over there. I was wondering why the horn went off. Tanner Robinette, over 2,000 points in a basketball career. Not many guys have done that. Kenny Hunt has done it for the Altavista Colonels. But to get over $2,000, that's something, Oscar.
Boy, yeah, but bittersweet for Tanner Robinette. Because
you can tell he's not real happy about it.
You're trailing by 19 and a chance to get back to the Final Four. And, he's not real excited about it.
He's rather he didn't score any and his team won the ball game. Nelson Dews, no look over to the right wing to Josh McClure. Back to basketball again after a brief stoppage. Colonel's lead sits at 19. We've got 90 seconds left to play in the ball game. McClure in trouble. Timeout from Coach Troy Harris. Let's take it with him. 65-46. Altavista on top over the Honaker Tigers. Come back and join us for the last 128 and then Lady Colonels basketball on 105.5 KD Country.
Good food, low prices, and great service keep customers coming back for more day after day at El Cazador Mexican Restaurant in Altavista. El Cazador is now open all afternoons, so you can buy anytime, any day, 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, a great place to unwind and relax with friends. Open 7 days a week, Main Street, Altavista. El Cazador thanks you for your business and making them the #1 Mexican restaurant in town.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
1:28 left to play in regulation. The Colonels with a big lead, but still, Coach Harris didn't want to take any chances. Cameron Hughes lost it momentarily, had to recapture the basketball. Now it's Nelson Dews just in front of the timeline. Down to 1:19 left to play. Altavista 65, Hoehne 46. There's a foul. Mateo Malback got tripped up as he was making a drive to the bucket. Hunter Eaton, the man going to get whistled for the violation. Jacob Adams will head to the scores table. He'll check in for his first action of the ball game. Malback eyes the rim on the free throw. Can't can that one. So the lead will stay at 19 for the Altavista Colonels. Tanner Robinette had 16 at the end of the first half.
He's got
24 now? 26
he's got
now.
23, and 6 of those within the last 2 or 3 minutes, when really the outcome is pretty much, I think, decided.
Yep, he's gone over the 2,000-point plateau for his career. Also mentioned in the pregame, Tanner Robinette has 1,000 rebounds. We were impressed last year when Darius Johnson went over 500 rebounds. Here's Blake Stinson driving the baseline, cut off by Jacob Adams. Adams applying some pressure D.
The Colonels are still really aggressive on the defensive end. Oh.
Stinson fired up the 3, then hit the deck. They're going to call the foul on Adams. Adams never thought he touched him. Maybe a bit of acting there by Blake Stinson as he and Chancellor Mormon have a laugh about it. Mormon might have said, hey, the Oscars was last week, man. 65-46. Give credit, though, for Blake Stinson for making a good play to get on the free throw line after the missed three-pointer.
The Oscars
this is
are
the first.
Every day.
Yes. Hence the name of my tag team partner here, folks, Agent Zero, Oscar Briggs. And what a great job by the entire KD Country crew last week to pull it together and get all the games covered. Dave Mabry and Dave Hoehne, the Dave and Dave show was fabulous. Bob Alvis and his cavalcade of stars there. It's a team effort. Takes a village, you know.
Yeah, Ty Gafford.
Yeah, I had Ty Gafford on earlier in the season. Then he made a repeat appearance in the region semifinal. Stinson does make the last of the 3 free throws. 65-48. Altavista still on top and in charge. 52.5 seconds left to play. Jamal Thornhill on the court now.
Stinson out of the game, getting hugs.
Maybe last time we see him.
It will be, I think.
Tanner Robinette is still in the game. Thornhill brings it up the far sideline after some nice ball movement by the Colonels. Adams inside. That's blocked away by Robinette. Robinette seems to be playing on half speed right now. I think maybe Coach Marcus Dunham is going to pull Robinette out and let Robinette get a very well-deserved round of applause. Yep, he comes out. You can hear the applause come alive. The Honaker fans know they've seen Tanner Robinette probably for the last time on a high school basketball court. Robinette actually transferred into Honaker from Lebanon for his junior and senior seasons. There was some talk that he might transfer somewhere else this year, but he stayed at Honaker, read some quotes from him in the paper, said, I'm staying here because we got a chance to win a title. And it looks like their title run is going to end in the state quarterfinals at the hands of the Altavista Colonels. Down to 35 seconds left to play. Altavista not really in the mood to score here as they already lead 65-48. It's just a big game of keep away. Cameron Hughes has it now over to Jamal Thornhill. Don't forget the quality minutes Jamal Thornhill played off the bench in the first half. He came in and did a great job. Traquan Farmer was trying to come up and get the ball from him. It's a steal by Hunter Eaton. Down to 11 seconds. Here comes a jump shot from Blake Wilson. Won't go. Farmer battling for the rebound. That's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Honaker.
Here's a key for some of the kids that get in late. When they show the box score, you won't go in the box score unless you've done something. The best thing you can do is foul.
Did you learn that one from personal experience? Ball up. Cameron Hughes gets the rebound. That'll improve his box score. Hughes in and out of traffic. Looks up at the clock, and it shows zeros. The Altavista Colonels with a state quarterfinal win over Honaker. 65-48. Subway postgame show when you come back to 105.5 KD Country. Hey, Oscar, my insurance situation isn't too good. I need to find somebody new.
Just call Mike Kinlaw. I've been a customer of his for over 20 years.
Mike Kinlaw, huh? I always knew he was a big Colonel fan.
Well, he's an independent insurance agent, so he can shop around and make sure you get the best rates. I mean, you can go online and try the Lizard or the guy that wears khakis, but hey, he's an Altavista graduate. He supports the teams. He's involved in the community. You can't get more than that.
Sounds like I'm calling Kinlaw Insurance Agency.
Yeah, call Mike at 369-5612.
369-5612.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
This is 100% convenient mobile banking with local First National Bank.
With our First Snap mobile app, you can securely check balances, make deposits, pay bills, transfer money, and much more.
It's easy to use, and we even have a video demo on our website at firstnatbk.com.
And it's free, so search First Snap mobile app and download it for free today.
Remember, banking from anywhere, anytime will help you bring home more bacon.
First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the Salem Civic Center as even the best get caught off guard, and then we do too. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. It's a big win for the Altavista Colonels as we get to the Subway postgame show. The Lady Colonels take the floor to warm up for their game. It will be a doubleheader of basketball. We got to wrap up things on the guys' side, OB. What a performance from the Altavista Colonels. Second quarter didn't quite go their way, but first, third, and fourth, Altavista had their way with the Honaker Tigers.
Boy, they really did. And you've got to give credit to Honaker, who had a great season. But coming into on a two-game losing streak, as opposed to the Colonels, who had ripped off about 11 or 12 in a row, pretty impressive performance by the Colonels. And I think the big thing was on the defensive end, just too much team speed, too much defensive intensity, and they've really never let Honaker get into any kind of flow whatsoever.
I would agree. That defensive pressure was incredible for Altavista. And the bench play, I mean, we can't talk about them enough. Chancellor Mormon, Jamal Thornhill, Cameron Hughes. Cameron Hughes is going to be hard to deny as the player of the game, but that probably doesn't give proper credit to Mateo Malbeck and Nelson Dews, who also played an outstanding 4 quarters of basketball.
That first quarter with a 23-11 lead kind of set the tone for the whole ball game. Let's give credit to Honaker again, who midway through the third quarter came out and closed it to 3. But boy, Colonels stepped up the defensive intensity, were able to get in the passing lanes, get some steals, get some of those breakaways, and really just from that point on, the last 12 minutes of this ball game was dominated by the Colonels. They did a great job defensively, too. You look at Tanner Robinette, 2,000 points over his career, and you held him to 1 point in the third quarter. Yep. That was so pivotal. And really, he ended up with 7 in the second half, 6 of those very late when the outcome was already decided. So great job defensively by the Colonels, team-wise, on Tanner Robinette.
Held him under his average. I see your score sheet there. He had 23 points to finish up. Get to that now, I suppose?
Yeah.
Dive right in, man.
I mean, we've got to close this one out.
That's
then
true.
We've got to set the table for the girls' game.
Exactly right.
Boy, oh boy, this has been fun.
And possibly an interview with Athletic Director Dean Hubbard. But fire out those post-game stats. We've also got to hear from Deborah Spencer. Go ahead.
Well, and you may need to hear from Troy Harris as well. Right. Brandon Sample with 5. Brett Boyd with 6. Harley Hilton with 8. Blake Stinson with 5. Brent Coleman with 2. Tanner Robinette with 23, And one of the concerns coming in was Brett Boyd, who only hit those 2 threes in the third quarter. Nice job defensively by the Colonels on him. For Altavista, boy, oh boy. Cameron Hughes with 5 big points. Nelson Dews with 18. Mateo Malbeck with 24. Daquan, who spent a lot of time in foul trouble, with 6. Lawrence Galliard with 6. Jamal Thornhill with 2. And Josh McClure, who spent a ton of time in foul trouble, only with 4. 65 points for the Colonels, 48 for the Honaker Fleas or Tigers or whatever you're going to call them.
The storyline coming in, we thought, was Josh McClure, how he was going to bang and battle with the big man, Tanner Robinette. Well, it ended up being a bunch of other guys. Not that McClure didn't do his part, but he and Poindexter saddled with foul trouble, and the rest of the team really stepped up and shared the load, Oscar. Let's take a quick time out here in the Subway postgame show. We're going to bring it back and chat with Mr. Dean Hubbard, and then we'll hear from head coach Deborah Spencer. Hopefully Troy Harris will stop by, and before you know it, it'll be time to tip off for the Altavista Lady Colonels against Fort Chiswell. Guys win over Honaker. You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
English is so much more. English is more than a hardware store.
Springtime clothing from Carhartt is arriving daily at English's The Complete Home Center. Carhartt clothing, known for its rugged durability, is on display at English's with a full line of menswear, coveralls, bibs, shirts, pants, and hats, sizes up to 4X. Special orders and accessories available. Visit the Carhartt Clothing Department at English's, North Main Street, Altavista.
Life happens: divorce, family problems, criminal charges, civil litigation, personal injury cases. Turn to David W. Shreve, an experienced attorney at law. David W. Shreve has been practicing law for over 30 years. Free consultation for personal injury cases. David W. Shreve wishing good luck to the Altavista boys basketball team in the playoffs. Go Colonels! David W. Shreve, located 7th Street, Altavista, or by phone 369-6621.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellers Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show back again. The Colonels win 65-48. We're also getting geared up for Lady Colonels basketball. We had a moment, so we thought we'd chat with the athletic director at Altavista High School, Mr. Dean Hubbard. And Coach Hubbard, you know, you're a former basketball coach. You're always going to be a basketball fan. Pretty impressive performance by the guys there in Game 1, huh?
Yes, it was, Kyle. I thought our kids played extremely well. It was a great team effort from our guys, and we've got a great opportunity to go ahead and move on to Richmond and play in the Final Four, which is a great accomplishment.
Well, talk to me about the sportsmanship you see out there, because Altavista always so well behaved. You know, you saw everybody going over to Tanner Robinette when he scored his 2,000th point. I mean, they're kids. They're 16, 17-year-olds. Sometimes the emotions run high, but I know you're pretty proud of the way not just the basketball team, but all the athletes conduct themselves at Altavista.
Absolutely, and we preach it. That's what we're supposed to do, and you know, it's a great accomplishment for Robinette to have scored 2,000 points. That's a great milestone for him and the school of Honaker.
Well, we can't let you stay all day, or Agent Zero will get upset, but give us a little quick rundown here on the Lady Colonels basketball game. I know you've been keeping an eye on the Colonels all year. You've got all your connections, so I'm sure you've heard some things about Fort Chiswell. Any thoughts on the upcoming game?
Well, Kyle, you know, I'm very proud of our young ladies for being here. You know, I think at one time in the season, our Lady Colonels were 1-7. Coach Spence and her staff have done a great job. Our girls have really battled and come back and have a chance of playing the state quarterfinals is a great accomplishment. What I've heard about Fort Chiswell, they like to run, and they score a bunch of points. So hopefully today we'll be able to slow them down and come up with another victory. We're very proud of our coaches and our young ladies.
I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the third state tournament for the Lady Colonels in the last 4 years or last 5 years. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so, Kyle. It's this is a good habit to have.
Yep.
We've got a great turnout today from our school and community. It's a great way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Great stuff. We'll step aside again on the Subway postgame show. Thank you so much, Dean Hubbard, athletic director here at Altavista High School. Final thoughts from the guys' game, and then tip off for the Lady Colonels right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
KCD Maintenance. Kenny can do it. If you've got a home or business maintenance issue, Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. That's 665-1333 for KCD Maintenance. Painting, building maintenance, minor construction, and more. Kenny can do it. Call 665-1333. Again, that's 665-1333. KCD Maintenance.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show rolls on. 3 great locations to eat fresh. Main Street, inside Walmart on Clarion Road, and inside Foster Fuels on Route 29. Final thoughts here, Oscar. I guess we got to do a player of the game. Colonels win 65-48. Then it's on to Lady Colonels basketball. We'll hear from head coach Deborah Spencer right after this. But, boy, for Honaker High School, I normally go first. I guess I'll give it a career award, too. I'm going to go Tanner Robinette. He did lead them in scoring. He had 23 points. He had 14 rebounds. Those are actually both under his average, if you can believe that. But he went over the 2,000-point plateau. He's a special player, and he's going to be a good one at the next level for sure.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to be at the next level. And, you know, you have to. A kid scores 2,000 points, 16 in the first half. You have to give it to Tanner Robinette.
Yep. On the other side for the Altavista Colonels. Now there's some options here. You know, you and I have talked about a few people. Do I have to go first? That's why I'm stalling here on the Subway postgame show. You have somebody in mind? By the way, it was a Colonels win, 65-48 over the Honaker Tigers. They did win every quarter except for the second.
Boy, I'm dumbfounded.
Okay.
It's a difficult choice because there was such a team effort tonight.
Well, I know which way I'm going to go. You want me to start it for you?
Yeah, you go.
All right. This man finished with 5 points. He hit a big 3 in the first quarter, but he played some outstanding defense. He actually did not score in the second half, but Cameron Hughes is my pick for the player of the game. 4 rebounds. He played outstanding defense on Tanner Robinette off the bench when Josh McClure is in trouble. And remember, folks, Cameron Hughes is a guy who came into this year as a guard. He hit a bit of a growth spurt. He's had to learn how to play in the post and bang with big guys like 260-pound Tanner Robinette. He did it tonight. He's my pick for a player of the game for the Altavista Colonels.
Well, and when the game got a little bit tight in the second quarter and they got back within
3 points there midway through the third quarter. Yeah.
He was pivotal in helping lock down Robinette. So, boy, it's tough. You know, you can't go. Chancellor Mormon played big minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
Thornhill was big when he came in. But hey, I'm going with a double-headed pick.
Okay.
And Nelson Dews took that big blow, bloody nose, and came out in the second half and scored 9, 18 for the game. The official stats have it a little bit different, but they're really unofficial.
I think I believe yours a little bit more, yeah.
So he scored 18 tonight, and boy, Mateo Malpeck.
Yeah.
Great job running the floor, great job defensively. I don't know how many steals he ended up with. We think that steals numbers are a little bit light for the Colonels, but Mateo Malpeck and Nelson Dews, I'm going with a combo pick. Just a great job of leadership by those more experienced players coming into a heavily, probably a favored Honaker team, even though Colonels had a higher seed. Great job of experience, leadership, and really never got flustered at all.
No, I think you made the right call there. I mean, Mateo with 24, Nelly with 18. You can't discount that. Nelson Dews was shooting and scoring from everywhere. 3 3-pointers in the first quarter for the big spurt, so that's great stuff. That's going to conclude the Subway post-game show for us. Now it's a Subway pregame show, and let's hear from the head coach of the Lady Colonels, Deborah Spencer. They're set to take on Fort Chiswell in just a matter of moments. You're going to hear every second of the action live on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns from the Salem Civic Center. It's Altavista taking on Fort Chiswell in state quarterfinal action. Talking once again with the Lady Colonels head coach, Deborah Spencer. And Coach Spencer, let's talk about last week a little bit. Sort of a long grind with those 3 games in 1 week. You're playing 3 quality teams. You had to make the long trip to Matthews. All in all, pretty satisfied with how things shook out?
Hey, we're still playing, so made the long trip Tuesday, got a really good win. Did not play as well Thursday and lost to the regional champions, Appomattox Regional Governor's School, but I was pleased with coming back on Saturday and finishing the week out and playing well enough to get a win over Colonial Beach.
It's weird to go from 3 games in a week to you have a whole week for practice. And sometimes for a player, it probably gets old seeing the same gym over and over. How'd you handle the extra practice time, and were you satisfied with the practice time?
It did seem like you get to this part of your season and you've been playing so many games due to the conferences where you were playing 2 and 3 games a week, and to have almost like a whole week off. It did kind of seem like a long week, but I think we had a productive week of practice, and the kids handled it really well because you appreciate being in the gym this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as it comes down to the end. What kind of things do the Lady Colonels need to do tonight to make the season not end, today rather, against Fort Chiswell, a high-scoring, potent offensive type of team?
I think our number 1 priority has to be taking care of the basketball. You cannot turn the ball over against their full-court pressure and give up easy layups and easy baskets. And we have to work a little harder to control the tempo to a little bit more our liking. And again, you can't give up second chance points and take away their easy baskets.
Defensively for you guys, you used the 2-3 a bunch in the regional play. Much of the same tonight, or maybe a little bit more mixing with man in some different zones? Just don't know yet?
We might play it all today. So we'll try to find something that works against them. And like I said, we might try a little bit of everything tonight.
Well, final question for you, Coach Spencer. You've been in a lot of these, especially when you combine volleyball and basketball. Still the same butterflies and the excitement right before you hit the court when you get on a big stage in a state quarterfinal like this?
You're always excited anytime you get a chance to play at this level. I don't know if you would consider it, nerves, but it's just, exciting to be here and still playing.
Great stuff. Coach, best of luck to you. Tip-off between Fort Chiswell and Altavista in about 10 minutes on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas Built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sonny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show returns to the Salem Civic Center. We just saw the Altavista guys get a win. Now it's the Lady Colonels' turn, taking on Fort Chiswell, the Lady Pioneers. We'll probably call them the Pioneers some, though, OB. And you heard the report there from head coach Deborah Spencer. Fort Chiswell comes in at 24-2. They're averaging, now listen to this, they're averaging 74.35 points per game as a team. There's plenty of guys' teams that would love to have that scoring output.
Altavista's boys' teams doesn't average that.
No, they don't. And this is a team that has scored a season-high 108 against Narrows back on January 29th. They have scored over 93 times. They've scored over 88 times. They can get up and down the court. They can put the ball in the hole. They can shoot the three. They can score from inside. It's going to be a game where Altavista has to control the tempo, just has to.
Well, and we've seen the Altavista girls step up their defensive pressure here as we've gone into this tournament and been able to hold some teams that are other teams that have scored well, hold their scoring total down well below what their average is. So if the Colonels can maintain that defensive intensity, they might have a chance.
I think that's going to be the key, that defensive intensity. And you heard Coach Deborah Spencer say, we might have to employ some different defenses, which the Lady Colonels have done that all year anyway, so that's not going to be anything new.
There's an old adage, and I hate to be cliche, but defense wins championships.
Certainly does.
And we certainly saw in the boys' game the difference that defensive intensity made. So, huge part of the game tonight for Altavista's key to success. I think it's got to start on the defensive end.
Before we get to the team's starting lineups, let's tell you about our starting lineup. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving families since 1905. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction service. Fellers Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. They sponsor our YouTube rebroadcast. If you want to hear that Altavista Colonel game, you can go to kdcountry.com and click the YouTube link. We'd also like to thank Sonny Merriman, Virginia's premier bus company. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Perkins Twin Tire, they're on 1312 Main Street in Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com. The one-stop mart where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking. It's the Subway pregame show. And if you listen online, you have to thank Chad Rakos, your all-state agent in Windhurst. Basketball fans, always in good hands with Chad Rakos. Colonels are the visitor in this one in the road black jerseys with orange and white trim. They are the 3 seed. Fort Chiswell, the Lady Pioneers, are in the home whites. They're the 2 seed. It's got a little bit of black and gold trim around the sides. They're coached by Abby Williams. Altavista, of course, coached by Deborah Spencer in her 26th season at the helm of the Lady Colonels.
She started when she was 10.
That sounds about right. Coaching volleyball for about the same time as well. Starters being announced right now, and we possibly hope to have head coach Troy Harris stop by at some point, possibly during the game or maybe at halftime. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Everybody was soaking up the victory when I stepped aside for just a moment. Saw Mateo Maul back, all smiles, and his team is happy to be back in the state Final Four. They'll travel to VCU and they'll play Thursday. Time and opponent to be determined. I think they have that 11:30 time slot.
I think if I read that's correct.
We'll have the ball game, of course, on 105.5 KD Country. Thanks to our country music fans for bearing with us here, as it is March Madness basketball time. And when you got two teams in the state tournament, well, a little extra emphasis has to be paid.
Starting lineups. First for Fort Chiswell, you're going to see 00, Carly Music. You're going to see number 4, Savannah Dunford. She's a junior. Music's a junior as well. Number 5, Sadie Smith, a senior. Number 23, Gracie Robinson. She's a sophomore. And number 32, Alexandra Rakes, who's a freshman. Boy, this is a very, very, very young team as well.
Incredible stuff. Abby Williams is the head coach. She's got to be excited about this season. But, man, the future looks bright here for Fort Chiswell. As you said, it is a young ball club. They have 2 seniors on the team, Sadie Smith and Emily Height.
Colonel, same starters that we've seen. Whitney Davis, Taylor Kraft, Victoria Burgess, Erica Mabry, and Brittany Mason. Colonels win the tap.
Taylor Kraft had to sort of steal it away from Sadie Smith. Now it's over left wing to Whitney Davis. Colonel scoring on the left-hand bucket, working right to left from Oscar and I's perspective, court side at the Salem Civic Center. Top of the key to Mabry. Go ahead.
Chiswell starts out in the 2-3 zone.
Kraft going to try and shoot him out of it. That 3 ball skips off the iron, no good. Tapped out of bounds, and it'll be Fort Chiswell basketball. They're out of Conference 46. Probably in the old Three Rivers district, if my history is right. 7:27 left to play in the first quarter. Catch and shoot 3 on the way from Fort Chiswell. That was Savannah Dunford. It won't go in. Ball rolls out of bounds harmlessly after the shot. And it'll be Lady Colonel basketball with 7:20 left to play. Still no score in the first.
Picking up in a full court. Looks like a 1-2-2 or 2-1-2 press.
Yeah, you can't average 74 points a game without doing some full court pressure, right, Oscar? It's just not possible.
It forces the turnover.
It does. They stole it in the back or front court, pardon me. Sarah Burnett has it. Now it's lost down low. Dunford has to regather. Victoria Burgess on the floor trying to rip it away from Dunford. Jump ball called. Possession arrow favoring Fort Chiswell.
And the Colonels, in the games that we've seen, have not fared well against the press.
Lady Colonels probably on the lesser end as far as athleticism goes today. This Fort Chiswell ball club gets up and down and runs quickly, and Coach Spencer said, we got to control the tempo.
Boy, they waste no time getting shots up either.
Yeah, that was a catch and shoot 2 from Alexandria Rakes. She's just a freshman. Rakes poured in 23 points in the 1A West championship game. They lost to Northwood 80-68. Altavista basketball after another mutual possession tie-up.
This is a 3 seed versus a 2 seed.
Still no score. That's why Oscar and I are just sort of talking right now. Lady Colonels break the timeline. This is Whitney Davis looking for help. Throws it middle of the court to Brittany Mason. Mason just turns around and hands it off to Victoria Burgess. A lot of seniors here. Turnaround jump shot is good for Erica Mabry. She starts the party for the Lady Colonels. They've got a 2-0 lead after a 15-footer from the right elbow. Catch and shoot 3 up from Dunford. No good. Offensive rebound by Sadie Smith. Stuck back up and in for 2 from the left side. Tied at 2 here.
I don't know if we've seen a girls team or a boys team this year that throws the ball, that shoots any quicker than this Fort Chiswell team. It's early. They've been putting it up. When they get an open shot, they pull the trigger.
Mabry tried to track down the loose ball. Couldn't get to it in time. And I agree with exactly what you said. They get it to one of those corners and fire. This time it's Dunford firing for 3, and that's good. Savannah Dunford gives Fort Chiswell a lead, breaks the tie, 5-2. Lady Pioneers on top. Whitney Davis in trouble on the far sideline. Somehow gets it back to Taylor Kraft. Kraft in traffic, finds Victoria Burgess. Burgess up ahead. Nice pass to get it to Mason. Mason had it swatted away by Carly Music. And Brittany Mason going to go to the free throw line. You saw how much Fort Chiswell sold out on the full court press. Mason was all alone, and Music had no choice but to foul her.
It's something the Colonels have got to be aware of. If they've got that opportunity over the top, because you're right, they were all packed into the backcourt.
Good job by the guards, Taylor Kraft and Victoria Burgess, to break the pressure. And then Mason just to go to the basket. Mason sinks the first, 5-3. Lady Pioneers on top over the Lady Colonels. 5:56 left to play in the first. Mason's got the second one on the way. It's up, and it's good. Nice job by Brittany Mason to get points from the free throw line. Fort Chiswell in a hurry going the other way. This is Gracie Robinson. Splits the defense. Right-hand finish goes. Nobody stepped in front of her to stop the run by Gracie Robinson. 7-4 Fort Chiswell.
And it was clear from half court. The Colonels have numbers, 3-on-1, 3-on-2.
Mabry looking behind for some help or possibly the defense. Kraft, catch and shoot three, won't go in. Rebound on the right side by Fort Chiswell.
Well, you better get back.
Absolutely.
Get back.
Jump shot up, too strong. Erica Mabry runs down the rebound just as she gets back. This pace is going to pressure the Lady Colonels in ways that maybe they're not used to. Victoria Burgess angling to her left. Colonels working right to left from our perspective. Mason catches, nice move inside.
Nice.
Under finish goes. Brittany Mason using the size and the craftiness down low to her advantage, Oscar.
Great footwork on that up and under, but boy, they're back. Chiswell's down and up with a three.
Don't blink. Reminds me of that game we did up in Rockingham where Altavista play. Oh, there's a steal. Burgess lost in the backcourt. Turnaround lay-in will not fall. Awkward angle from Savannah Dunford, but she got her own rebound. Dunford going to fire for three. That won't go. Mason with the box out. And a little help from Burgess, too. Brittany Mason collects it. She'll throw it up the far sideline. What was the game we did at Rockingham that Altavista guys played where you could hardly get a word in edgewise? Remember that?
Yeah, I can't remember who that was. It'll come to me tomorrow night sometime.
I'm sure. Maybe next season. Kraft, left wing, looks inside the defense, now retreats and gives it back to Victoria Burgess. 4:20 left to play in the first. Altavista trails by one. Mabry, nice move inside, kiss off the window and in. Lady Colonels lead again, 8-7. Nice play there by Erica Mabry to step around the defender. Here comes Alexandria Rakes. Good ball movement again down along the baseline. Long two-pointer up from Sadie Smith won't go. I mean, it is catch and shoot nearly every time for Fort Chiswell. Lady Colonel's going to slow it down. This is by design. It's his own defense from the Lady Pioneers.
Deborah Spencer has three players ready to come in, so the pace of the game is a little bit quicker than what the Colonels are used to.
Kraft thought about a three instead, and one hands it back to Burgess. Burgess bounced past to Kraft. Kraft steps into a three. Off the iron, no good. Mabry on the rebound and the stick back. Erica Mabry getting it done early for the Lady Colonels. 10-7, Altavista on top. 0-0, throws it in the corner to Gracie Robinson. Robinson had it stripped by Burgess, but Fort Chiswell recovered. Dunford has it. Good ball movement again. The catch and shoot two-pointer up. Won't go in for Alexandria Rakes. Ball recovered by Erica Mabry.
Colonels have done a good job on the glass.
Certainly have. And Lady Colonels do have a bit of a height advantage with the exception of Sadie Smith, who stands at 6 feet tall for Fort Chiswell. Kraft, pass fake, now back to Burgess. Now it's back to Taylor Kraft. Holds it above her head, now hip, jab, step, driving into the edge of the paint. Lost the ball momentarily, but the Lady Colonels recapture it. Mabry thinking about a pass, nobody there. Tries the three, stuck back up and in by Mason on the missed shot. And there's a foul on Taylor Kraft as she got too much of Alexandria Rakes. Now those subs been waiting for a while, Oscar. They finally get to check in the ball game here with 2:46 left to play in the first.
2:46 remaining in the first. Colonels leading 10-7.
Scooter Duff saving the day on the information. He's absolutely right. It was Stewart's draft that Altavista played a couple years ago that fired up threes nonstop. They'd get two steps inside a half court and launch a three-pointer. Scooter Duff, can we get him on the payroll somehow?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's really helped out today. Alexandria Rakes catches, doesn't shoot, passes instead. Pop passing here by Fort Chiswell and leads to a bucket. I mean, that was some excellent touch ball movement there, and it was Emily Height that ended up scoring it. Altavista still on top by one, 10-9. The ball movement, too. I mean, not only the quick shooting, but the ball movement.
It's incredible.
In the game now, Haley Kraft wants to try the three ball. Off the iron, no good. Paris Goggins with a nice offensive board. Looking for help. Got it to Mormon. Return pass back to Goggins. Good two-person play right there by Addison Mormon and Paris Goggins.
You know, that's the thing about the Colonels team. They've got a height advantage. If they can continue to break that press and get into the mismatch situation, feed the ball and use that height, they've got a great chance to win this game.
Shot doesn't go in for Gracie Robinson. It was rebounded by Alexandria Rakes. She got fouled. The freshman will toe the free throw line with 1:43 left to play in the first quarter. It's a 12-9 Altavista Colonels advantage. Lady Colonels, again, we'll alternate back and forth. First one up for Alexandria Rakes will not go in. Fort Chiswell beat Perry McClure 74-59 in the region semifinals. That's who ended the Lady Colonels season last year, was Perry McClure. Gracie Robinson scored 31 in that ball game, Oscar. There's a rebound by Addison Mormon. Bench play really stepping up here for the Lady Colonels. On the court is Taylor Craft, Haley Craft, Victoria Burgess, Addison Mormon, and Paris Goggins. Craft holding on the far sideline. Gets it to Goggins inside. Paris Goggins had it blocked away by Sadie Smith. Fort Chiswell going the other way. Altavista gets back to dig in on the back line of that defense. Three-pointer up from Sadie Smith. Back iron, no good. Long rebound grab by Haley Craft just outside the left edge of the paint. Craft in trouble, wings it to Victoria Burgess. Burgess dribbles in. Left-hand dribble. Now switches over to the right. Burgess shielding the basketball away from the defender. Bounces off to Taylor Craft in the left-hand corner. We've got 58 seconds left to play. Goggins inside. Shot is good from 4 feet away. Paris Goggins with a couple buckets here in the first quarter off the bench. And there's a turnover by Fort Chiswell. Lady Colonels with some momentum here in the advantage. 16-9. They lead with 49 seconds left in the quarter. Coach Deborah Spencer, her usual coaching demeanor. Feisty, always on her feet over there on the far sideline. Ready to go. Lady Colonels still in the backcourt. Need to break the timeline. They do. Paris Goggins with the dribble. Now tosses it softly to Mormon. Mormon sees nobody in the paint, decides to attack the bucket. Swept away by Sadie Smith. I think it was a good decision by Addison
Nice
Mormon.
hands by Victoria Burgess.
Burgess stepped in front of a pass there. Poked it out of bounds. Here comes Brandy Bell, number 11 for the Altavista Lady Colonels. She'll relieve Victoria Burgess and give the point guard, number 32, senior Victoria Burgess, a much-needed breather. 25 seconds left to play in the quarter. Zone defense from the Lady Colonels.
I was sitting here on my scoring sheet. I'll finish it in a minute.
Shot up and in. No, will not go in. Paris Goggins grabs the rebound.
The scoreboard had 16-9, and I go down my scoring sheet. Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Nobody. It's the actual score is 14-9.
You're right. Well, we saw the time get messed up in the first game. The stats that they provide us were questionable at best, and now a scoring deficiency. 14-9 Lady Colonels lead. They've got 2 seconds here. They'll inbound on the right baseline. Time for a catch-and-shoot jump shot. Kraft looking for somewhere to go. Needs to get it in now. Bell catches up at the buzzer. No good. And the Lady Colonels have taken a lead into the second quarter. They're on top, 14-9. Second quarter on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels, Colonels, hey, let's go, Lady Colonels. Cheering on the Altavista Lady Colonels, One Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista are proud of your dedication and teamwork. It's led you to the basketball playoffs. One Stop Mart Altavista is proud to support the community that supports One Stop. Before stepping out to tonight's game, be sure to fill up the gas tank at One Stop and pick up a bucket of the best chicken in town. One Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken's kicking.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Good first quarter for the Lady Colonels. They lead 14-9. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. Eleanor Hoehne is our fabulous sound engineer working the doubleheader today. It is game 2. The guys grabbed the victory in the first game over Honaker. Fun ball game to watch, OB.
Boy, it was fun. And the Colonels really executed well. And going back to the Final Four, how much fun is that?
10th time in the history of the school for the Altavista Colonels. That's impressive. 4th time in the last 4 years. And they, of course, are the reigning and defending back-to-back-to-back state champions. Mabry's at the scorer's table ready to check back in at the next dead ball. Down in the low post, it's Emily Height with a turnaround shot. Won't go. Rebound collected by Sadie Smith. She sticks it back up for 2. 14-11 now. Lady Colonels lead, trim to 3. Mormon in trouble. Bounces off to Taylor Craft. She flips to Brandy Bell. Bell had her pass knocked out of bounds into the 3 starters who were waiting to check back in.
Nice minutes by Kraft and Bell and Goggins in that little spell to get those starters out.
Yeah.
Maintain the lead.
And with the high tempo that Fort Chiswell likes to play, Coach Spencer is going to have to use that bench. On the court right now for the Lady Colonels: Victoria Burgess, Haley Kraft, Erica Mabry, Brittany Mason, and Addison Mormon. Mason down low, left-hand post. Shot up was deflected, wouldn't go in. Last touch off Mason. This is Lady Pioneer basketball with 7:19 left to play. 14-11, the Altavista Colonel advantage.
Brittany Mason with that up and under move again did a nice job getting to the basket, but was unable to finish.
Lady Colonels had to go on the road in the first round last week at Matthews and get a win against a tough Matthews squad. Never easy to make that long drive like that. They lost in the region semifinals to the Appomattox Regional Governor's School. Fort Chiswell basketball. Savannah Dunford will bark out a set play instruction. They try to go down in the low post to Sadie Smith. She was fouled by Brittany Mason as she caught the basketball. This should be on the floor with 6:53 left to play in the half.
Interesting note here from the scorekeeping that they don't put the, they are personal fouls up on the board.
I thought you were right for a minute. 6:47 left to play. Lady Colonels lead by 3. Sadie Smith will toe the line for a long 2. A foot on the line, 2. Gets Fort Chiswell within 1. 14-13, Lady Colonels on top. Brittany Mason beats the defense down. Stops at 5 feet, shoots the jumper. Won't go. Addison Mormon grabs the rebound. Mormon, with playing with confidence here, flips it over to Victoria Burgess. Mabry fakes the 3, driving in, lost the handle. That's a foul on Caroline Bohr. That's the first one on Bohr, the sophomore coming in off the bench.
Colonels on inbound against this 2-3 zone.
It may be Boer, Oscar. It's Booher. Haley Kraft, three-pointer.
Look
back
good.
of the iron, no good. Nice rebound by Addison Mormon. She's got 2 offensive rebounds just on this trip down the floor. Another 3 ball on the way. Hoisted up by Mabry, wouldn't go in. Fort Chiswell's going to bring it up the far sideline. They
in a
take
hurry,
the lead here
bring
with
it
2.
up.
Oh,
Wow.
and falls. Gracie Robinson was bumped by Burgess. No call. She leaned away from the contact and scored it. 15-14.
Blazing speed.
Lead has changed here as Fort Chiswell grabs it back. With just under 6 to play. Burgess double team, dribbles out of trouble.
Chiswell does a great job pressing and then getting back into the regular defense at 2-3. They do a very good job in that transition.
Their coach is Abby Williams, and you can tell she has them well schooled. Haley Kraft, three-pointer, skips off the iron, no good. There's an offensive board by Mason. Mason bodied up. That shot hit the backboard, and she was fouled. Oscar, let's talk for just a second while we have it here. There's the high school three-point line in black. The college three-point line is in blue, a foot behind the high school line. And it never fails whenever we come here at VCU. Everybody seems to shoot behind the college line, just, I guess, because you see it.
I think that's a great point, and you're right. In both games,
yeah,
you see it, and they're towing up behind that college. They're using that as the line.
High school line is 19 feet. College line is 20 feet. NBA, you got to go all the way back to 24 feet. And if you're Steph Curry, you just shoot him from 30 feet, exactly. Mason sinks the free throw. That breaks a 15-15 tie. Lady Colonels back up by 1. Good job by Brittany Mason from the free throw line again. 5:25 left to play in the second quarter. Lady Colonels by 1 on defense. Looks like a zone. Fort Chiswell in the home white, scoring right to left. There's a nice steal by Taylor Kraft. They come from the weak side. It was poked away by Mason. Kraft in trouble, picked up the defense, finds her sister, Haley Kraft, on the far sideline. She just had it ripped away by Gracie Robinson.
She walked. Colonels got bailed out on that. Nice job defensively by Chiswell. One of the things Colonels have got to be aware of, they can't get to the sideline. That's another defender, and that's exactly what happened in that play.
Agreed. And Fort Chiswell, again, well-schooled. They know how to use that sideline and the timeline as an extra defender. Mason, turnaround move, got stuck. Flips it back off to Haley Kraft. Three-pointer hit the front of the iron but would not go in. 4:52 left to play in the first half.
Colonels without a three-pointer yet. They got to keep shooting them, though. Between Haley and Taylor, Colonels, again, nice job by Victoria Burgess on the boards.
Mabry, too. That trio is the long-range threats for Altavista, and they've been big all year. A big reason for their success. Mabry thinking about it from the left wing. Looks like a man-to-man now from Fort Chiswell. They've changed it up. Mason stuck in the paint again, looking for somewhere to go. Whistled her for a 3-second violation. You don't see it very much, but you could kind of tell it was coming. They gave Mason about 4 or 5 seconds in there, and she just didn't do anything with the basketball.
Well, Erica Mabry was out on the wing and threw the ball to her, and nobody was within 10 feet of her. She needs to pull the trigger on that.
4:25 left to play in the second quarter. It's a 1-point Lady Colonel advantage. We're broadcasting live from the Salem Civic Center. So glad you could join us here on a state quarterfinal Saturday. Catch and shoot three from Fort Chiswell up and good. That's Savannah Dunford for three.
That's her second of the game.
Now it's a 2-point Chiswell lead. Basketball tapped out of bounds. Fort Chiswell is around the Wytheville area, and in fact, George Wyth from Wytheville is their big rival in high school. Kraft, the inbound, throws it long to Paris Goggins.
She got away with a walk.
Goggins might have dragged that foot. It's back to Taylor Kraft. She'll dribble across now, pass in the front court to Haley Kraft. Good ball movement here. Mormon was just a step too late on her pass. Got stolen away. Up ahead, Lady Pioneers in a hurry. Basketball
nice
loose.
Hustle.
What a diving play
nice
there
hustle.
by Taylor Kraft. It was almost like she was sliding into third base. She dove head first, grabbed the ball, and then just relieved it off to sister Haley Kraft. Kraft throws it down low, left-hand post to Goggins. Goggins can't finish. Burgess has a rebound in the low post. Didn't feel comfortable down there. Dribbles it back out between the circles.
She's a bulldog.
Bunch of them on this Lady Colonel's team. They get after it. They're playing hard tonight. Mormon has it in low post. Swatted away by Sadie Smith. May have been some contact. Fort Chiswell leading by 2. They want to extend the lead. Long two-pointer up from 15 feet on the baseline won't go. Offensive rebound. Here comes a three from Dunford. That will not fall. Haley Kraft grabs a rebound on the right baseline, bounces off to sister Taylor Kraft. Up ahead on the far sideline to Burgess. Burgess angles to the middle. Now it's over here in the left point to Haley Kraft. 3 minutes left to play in the half. 18-16, Fort Chiswell on top. You can probably hear Coach Deborah Spencer hollering out instructions. Lady Colonel's going to slow it down. Kraft drives. Ooh, they called Taylor Kraft with a carry. Saw that once in the guys' game.
Yep.
Just got her hand under the basketball a little bit. You can get on the side of it. You can't get under it. And that's a turnover with 2:44 left to play in the half.
They've had several opportunities where they've had the opportunity to shoot the three and just haven't pulled the trigger yet. They got to be a little bit more aware of that if they're going to continue to stay in this ballgame.
Well, the Lady Colonel, there's a steal. No. Burgess trying to run it down. Mormon thought she had to steal, and then last touch off of Fort Chiswell. It may have been touched by Victoria Burgess.
Victoria swiped that left hand, but she did a great job of selling that to the official that, hey, I was clean. I didn't touch it.
Kraft inbound. Chest pass in the right corner to Addison Mormon. 2:27 left to play in the second quarter. 18-16, Fort Chiswell on top. Kraft had to break the 5-second count. Drives along the baseline. Nice wraparound pass to find Goggins, and we're tied at 18. How about Taylor Kraft there? The 5-second count was winding down. She drove the baseline and then just slid it right around the defender for a nice assist. 2:05 left to play in the half. 18 all between Fort Chiswell and Altavista High School.
Without a post presence, the Colonels can extend this zone because all the threat is coming from outside so far.
It is a zone defense from the Lady Colonels. Three ball contested. Alexandria Rakes drains from the left corner. It's a 3-point lead for Fort Chiswell again, 21-18. Goggins closed out well and put a hand in her face. It's about all you can do.
Nice pass.
Good post move down low. Goggins lost it on the entry pass from America Mabry. 96 seconds left to play in the second quarter. 21-18, Fort Chiswell on top.
This quarter's flown by.
Fort Chiswell doesn't have a ton of players on their bench, and it seems like pretty much everybody's been in. Maybe Mackenzie Harmon and Hannah Carr have not played yet. Chiswell basketball in the front court. Another three up. Won't go in. Rebound tracked down by Sadie Smith. Got her own rebound. Then they lost it after a scrum underneath the backboard. 1:22 left to play in the quarter. 21-18. Lady Colonels trail by 3. Working right to left. They're still in the backcourt. Full court pressure coming. Kraft throws it to Addison Mormon at the timeline. Goggins is up ahead. There's a foul. Lady Colonel fans maybe wish they didn't call the foul because Goggins might have had a free look at the basket.
Yeah, that's exactly what the situation was. It was a breakaway. It was a nice foul by Fort Chiswell if you're in that situation.
Yeah. Kraft now has to inbound on the far sideline, and that's Taylor Kraft.
Back in that 2-3 zone. Chiswell doing a nice job of switching up defenses.
I have to do a better job about being more specific. Haley Kraft will shoot the three.
There
and that
it
is good.
There it is.
Number 21, Haley Kraft, drains it from the left wing. We are tied at 21. Impressive stuff there from Haley Kraft. Under a minute to play. Shot is up and no good. There's Sadie Smith on the rebound and stick back. Good turnaround move from the left post to score it over top of Victoria Burgess. 23-21. Chiswell with the lead again, and now a steal. Smith has it. Off to 0-0 Music. She drains it from 14 feet. Coach Spencer looking like maybe she's thinking about a timeout. Kraft steps through a double team to break the pressure. Up ahead to Burgess. Burgess going to outrace the defense across the half-court stripe. Long pass to Haley Kraft. Kraft from 14 feet.
She's beating up bottoms.
25-23. Haley Kraft has the last 5 for Altavista. They trail by 2. 25-23. Fort Chiswell on top by 2. Down to 14 seconds left to play in the half. NBA range 3 from Sadie Smith doesn't go. Track down her own rebound beyond the 3-point ring. Inside move by Emily Height to shoot it from 12 feet. That won't go. Down to 2 seconds. Kraft sees it. Half-court buzzer beater won't even reach the rim, and we have played 2 full quarters of play. Lady Colonels, they trail by 2, 25-23. Subway halftime show on the way when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE, Altavista, Lynchburg.
Quality, performance, value. When it comes to tires, no one is as obsessive as the designers and engineers at Michelin. We all expect tires to perform at their very best. So whether it's smooth riding Michelin cross-country terrain SUV tires, rugged Michelin LTX series of truck tires, or the premier passenger car performance of Michelin Hydro Edge tires, the name Michelin means you'll get the most out of your vehicle. When it's time to switch to Michelin, come to Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, Main Street, Altavista.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
Brought to you by English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
We return to the Salem Civic Center. Lady Colonels trail by 2, 25-23. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. Doubleheader Saturday of basketball. The Altavista guys advance on to the state Final Four. The Altavista pep band getting it cranking again. They'll get the gym moving around and bopping their heads a little bit. We had Dean Hubbard on earlier. Don't know if Troy Harris is going to make it down or not. Probably still soaking in the wind. Oscar, nice atmosphere for ball here. And so far, even though the Lady Colonels trail by 2, I don't think they're going to be particularly unhappy with the way that half went.
No, I think that you look at the score, 25-23, trailing by 2, obviously. But if you tell Coach Spencer that, hey, at the half you're trailing by 2, the score's in the 20s, you got to believe that the pace is where you want it. Although Chiswell's done a good job moving the ball, and, buddy, they launch shots up. And I think she's got a 10-second rule for them that within 10 seconds you better be throwing the ball up, because they certainly catch and release the ball as quickly as anybody we've seen this year.
That certainly seems like it's the strategy from Abby Williams, the head coach for the Fort Chiswell Lady Pioneers. Coach Deborah Spencer trying to counter that with some good defense, boxing out, and, of course, controlling the tempo as well. And remember, Fort Chiswell averaging over 74 points a game. So this would be under their halftime average. They're on pace for 50 right now. Even though I'm not good at math, I could do those numbers, Oscar.
Yeah.
It's about all I can do, though. You got to take it from here on the math end.
I mean, Fort Chiswell's taken 28 shots. They're 3 of 13 from three-point land, which is probably a little bit below their average. Altavista 1 of 7 from three-point line, shooting 9 of 21. They've been able to exploit inside. Brittany Mason with some points early, shooting 43% from the floor. Chiswell only shooting 39% from the floor. So Colonels have done a good job defensively, keeping them from scoring easy baskets.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Lady Colonels defense, 1 or 2 letdowns in there, but for the most part, pretty rock solid. You know, even a lot of those threes, they had a hand in the face. They closed out well. They boxed out well. Think about those three-pointers, OB, and you know this. They produce such a longer rebound that it becomes tough to box out when that shot goes up, because sometimes actually boxing out puts you out of position to get to it. It's a mixed bag. It's a tough battle.
Yeah, Chiswell with 3 offensive rebounds according to the stat sheet, and it certainly seems like that might be a little bit low because of the long rebounds that Chiswell had off those 3-pointers.
Another timeout here on the Subway halftime show. Make sure you eat fresh today, folks. No better way to celebrate a Colonel win than to stop in one of the 3 area Subways. Troy Harris on the way over. We'll talk to him right after this timeout here. Lady Colonels trail by 2 at halftime on 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellas Chevrolet. The competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellas Chevrolet in Altavista.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sonny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Colonels, hey, let's go Lady Colonels. Cheering on the Altavista Lady Colonels One-Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista are proud of your dedication and teamwork. It's led you to the basketball playoffs. One-Stop Mart Altavista is proud to support the community that supports One Stop. Before stepping out to tonight's game, be sure to fill up the gas tank at One Stop and pick up a bucket of the best chicken in town. One-Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken's kicking.
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show returns here, and we're joined by head coach of the Altavista Colonels, Troy Harris. And Coach Harris, first off, congratulations. Back in the state Final Four again. I think it's the 10th time in school history. And, you know, Mike Carlero said, hey, this was a basketball school before I got here. It'll be a basketball school after I leave. And I think you guys proved that here today.
That's right, yeah. I mean, there's always talent running around that halls. There's even guys that don't try out that can play ball in the hallways. So, yeah, we're never far off from a really good team. Even, you know, everybody keeps talking about how do you do it without those 5 studs. I mean, we just got basketball players. They play from the time they're born to the time they get out, and then most of them keep playing after they graduate.
Absolutely, and you got the guys playing hard and playing together. Gosh, what a performance on Tanner Robinette tonight. Shutting him down. You held him under his average. Right. But the key thing was you didn't have Josh McClure for a lot of that. Right. You told us in the pregame show McClure was option 1, Gallagher was option 2. Well, Lawrence wasn't out there for a lot of it either. The bench and the other guys really stepped up to blanket him and limit him to the points that he had.
Yeah, everybody's telling me how great a job I did, and we were in a man in the first half, and everybody was in foul trouble. We come out in the second half, and we go to a 2-3. Once again, swallow my pride, and go 2-3, and we hold him to 6 points in the second half. But he was in line to have 40 points or so at halftime, and I was like, well, here we go. We're just going to have to deal with it, and really held him. I thought we were going to hold him under his 2,000 point, but he ended his career with 2,000 points. He's a heck of a ball player.
He really is. Let me ask you about a couple guys individually. Cameron Hughes, he came into this season as a guard, and he's probably still a guard, but he was down there mixing it up with the big man with the best of them. I thought Cameron really gave you a nice spark off the bench.
Yeah, he always does. You know, he gets his minutes reduced sometimes, but he's always ready to go. And got some big rebounds for us in the second half when we had them a little bit tired.
Well, how about the big duo there of Nelson Dews and Mateo Malbach? Gosh, Malbach was everywhere. He had the fire burning hot tonight. And Nelly had to shake off the busted nose or whatever and just came out and did his normal thing that he always does.
Yeah, we got in the locker room and somebody said Mateo had 27. I said, what? Because we don't have guys score a lot of points. The way our system runs, it just doesn't give those guys that many opportunities because we're sharing the ball and everybody likes each other, and we really do share the ball a lot. And Mateo ended up with 27. I think he had a bunch of fast break points, if I remember correctly, off steals, and he was just leaking out and going. And Nelson always does what he does, even though he had a busted nose. He's always stellar handling the ball and scoring points for us.
Well, let me ask you a couple more questions here as the Lady Colonel's getting ready to take the court again. I saw you waving to some fans as you walked down here. Got to love this crowd support, don't you?
Oh, yeah, the community's great. The expectations are high. There's no doubt about it. Every year they expect you to make it far. And then when you get there, they all come out and they pay their $10, and they love traveling to come to the games to support the team and me. It's been an awesome experience.
Well, one final thought here. I know you were soaking in your win, but you saw some of the Lady Colonels game. Any thoughts on that? Lady Colonels just need to keep the tempo and the pace slow. You think is probably their best bet here?
Yeah, I think Fort Chiswell's trying to speed them up with that diamond press, but they're doing a decent job of handling it, and they've had some fast break opportunities. They just got to finish when they get it there. I think the slower the game, the better off they are, because Fort Chiswell's really pushing the ball up the court.
Great stuff, Coach. We'll talk to you before Tuesday's game. We'll let OB back on here. Not even a timeout as both teams are on the court. That was Coach Troy Harris, head coach of the Altavista Colonels. He's got the guys back in the state Final Four again. They'll travel to VCU on Thursday. Oscar, just like that, you're back and we're back. Subway halftime show is done. We're already 5 seconds into the third quarter here. Altavista basketball on the right side front court from you and I's perspective. Give me your thoughts here on the second half while we get a chance.
I think you Colonels fans more the same. If one of the Kraft kids can get hot, and there's
one
a good
right
start.
there. Taylor Kraft, just right on cue as you were saying that. Nails it from the right wing, and the Lady Colonels have a lead back again, 26-25.
They got good looks in the first half, weren't able to knock them down. Haley knocked one down. If both of those kids get hot, they've got a chance to beat this Fort Chiswell team. And again, we talked about it earlier. They've held them to 25 points in the first half. That's very, very good.
I would agree. Nice inside passing there. Altavista Lady Colonels rushed in to take it away. This is Gracie Robinson. She tried to dump it off to Sadie Smith. Got knocked out of bounds. It's off the Lady Colonels. Do have some first half scoring that we'll throw out here in just a second. Maybe first trip to the free throw line. But this game hadn't had many stoppages, Oscar. Don't think either coach called timeout. There's a foul on Brittany Mason.
On cue for the Colonels, Haley Kraft was 5, Paris Goggins was 6, Erica Mabry was 6, and Brittany Mason was 6. For Fort Chiswell, Music with 3, Dunford with 6, Sadie Smith with 8, Gracie Robinson with 4, Emily Height with 2, and Alexandra Rakes with 3.
Alexandra Rakes was fouled as she was trying to shoot. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot a pair with 7:05 left to play in the third quarter. It's a 1-point Lady Colonel advantage. Rakes can change that from the free throw line here. Deep knee bend, fires the first, in and out, no good. So the best she's going to be able to do is tie if she makes the back end.
Interesting with Rakes, she's about 6 inches behind the free throw line.
Yep, she's just a freshman. I'm not blaming it on that. I think she's been told that by somebody, or she's doing it on purpose. Full court pressure again. Mabry's going to bring it up the far sideline. Now gets stuck in a bad area. She crossed the timeline, and she was next to that in the sideline, so it ended up being almost a quadruple team when you combine the half-court stripe and the sideline. That's a turnover.
Breaking press 101 is you got to stay away from the sidelines. Get the ball to the center of the court at midcourt.
Here comes Rakes. She'll trigger the three. It's up. Didn't even hit the iron, but a rebound by Gracie Robinson. She really just caught it in stride, read that well. Lady Colonel's on defense. Here comes Robinson thinking about a three. She'll drive. Middle of the lane, freed up for her. She scores it for 2. Another tie is broken. 28-26. Mabry has it on the far sideline. Now it goes back to the middle to Burgess. Burgess weaving in and out of traffic. Full speed, chest pass. Whitney Davis thought about it long, too. Opted to get rid of it instead with 6:25 left to play in the third quarter. Lady Colonels trail by 2 again. They trail by 2 at halftime. Altavista had 15 rebounds to Fort Chiswell's 10. So give the Colonels a feather in their cap there in the first half. Lady Colonels taking their time, diagnosing this zone defense, very deliberate, passing around the perimeter. Mason scores it inside. It kind of was like on the way up, and it hit the front of the iron and went higher, and then finally fell over the top with a cup. Catch and shoot 15-foot jump shot. Won't go in. There's Erica Mabry on a rebound. Got tapped over to her by Whitney Davis. Good teamwork there. 5:45 left to play in the third. 28-28. We're all tied. Feels like we've been saying that all day. Davis steps into a 17-footer. Side of the iron, no good. One and done there for the Lady Colonels as Rakes grabs the rebound.
Offensively, Colonels doing great job with that zone.
That is Gracie Robinson slicing through the defense to get in for two. Lady Colonels lost the basketball. Music over to Robinson. Robinson driving. Hit in the body and on the arm by Taylor Craft there.
I like the foul by Taylor.
Lady Colonel's D was out of position, so that foul by Taylor Craft might have just saved them. Here come the three substitutes in the ball game again. This was the rotation that Deborah Spencer employed in the first half. It's Addison Mormon, Paris Goggins, and Haley Craft that all check in for Altavista.
It's a line change.
Pretty much. There's Robinson, turnaround jumper, won't go. Taylor Craft has the rebound, dribbles to the far sideline, now cuts it back, dishes it off to Victoria Burgess.
On the offensive end, the Colonels have done a good job flashing player, the post player, up to the middle of the zone and then distributing it back out.
Craft, long three, won't go. Out of bounds, last touch off of Fort Chiswell. Officials had to think about it for just a second.
It was clear from our perspective. Sure. It went off on the Chiswell player. The question was the Altavista player on their back?
Taylor Craft to inbound, looking for somebody. Throws it to Sister Haley. Catch and shoot three will not go in from the right wing. That's knocked out of bounds, and I believe they're going to... No, it's just out of bounds. I thought they were going to call a foul on Addison Mormon.
Well, that was a situation where it looked again like the ball was off of Chiswell, but it was either going to be off of Chiswell or a foul on Addison. We'll take that.
Down in the corner it goes, far corner to Sadie Smith. She lost it momentarily. Now there's Victoria Burgess with a steal. Waiting patiently on the back line of the defense. You think of Burgess more as a guard, but they've got her playing on the back line of that 2-3. Lady Colonels trail by two. They could tie or take the lead here on this possession.
Victoria's strong and does a great job with position.
Hard to find anybody with a higher basketball IQ. Haley Craft for three in for the lead. That won't go. Rebounded by Goggins. Taylor Craft thinking about it now. She'll drive instead. Hampered in the far corner on the far sideline. Lost the basketball. Burgess there, and there's a foul. And that foul is on Gracie Robinson. Just got too much of Victoria Burgess going after the basketball. A couple of boos come out from the Fort Chiswell fans.
Chiswell does a great job defensively making those sideline situations into a trap situation.
I can only imagine how much they run in practice.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they are quick. It's probably a lot of running that involves a change of direction, too. You know what I mean? I think they are really well-schooled and fun to watch play.
They're back into the man now.
Kraft driving, hook shot will not go. That would have tied it up, in and out, no good. They tried to jam the rebounder there as Sadie Smith got rid of it to Carol Music. That shot won't go. Hit off the side of the backboard. Paris Goggins there for the rebound for the Lady Colonels. Flips off to Burgess.
Officials are letting them play.
Yes, they are. 3 team fouls on Altavista right now, midway through the third quarter, 1 on Fort Chiswell. Addison Mormon sets the screen for Haley Craft. Now Victoria Burgess will let the offense get in rhythm and settle down. 3:40 left to play in the third. Altavista trailing by 2.
And really the Colonels don't have... Oh, they're going to call out on Paris Goggins for setting that up down low, it looks like.
I think they called her a 3-second violation again.
Oh, okay.
Second time today Paris has gotten called with that. She moves around. Seems like maybe she's drawn some extra attention from the officials.
Off this man-to-man zone, the Colonels really don't have anybody that can break you down off the dribble. So a good ploy from Fort Chiswell.
Fort Chiswell now taking their time. A rare moment where they haven't jacked up a shot the first 5 or 10 seconds in the possession. Now they'll try it. Height going to the basket. The first one was stuffed by Taylor Craft. She got it right back and tried again, even closer from 3 feet, and was fouled. That stops the clock with 3:14 left to play in the third. It's a 30-28 Fort Chiswell advantage. Man, they even shoot the free throws quick.
Nah, she laughed. Yeah, they do quick. They do shoot it quick.
I just grabbed that thing and fired it up. Hit the backboard and went in.
But it's 2 seconds from when she gets it.
Normally a free throw routine includes a dribble or two. 1 dribble that time. Off the backboard again. Looked like it was maybe by design. I don't know. It was on.
She laughed when she made the first one. She didn't laugh that time.
It's a 4-point advantage now for the Lady Pioneers. Lady Colonels, I don't want to say they don't want to let the lead get bigger for Fort Chiswell because that's obvious. Of course you don't want the lead to get bigger. Well, I wouldn't call it a must-score possession or anything like
wide
that.
Open.
Haley Kraft wide open for 3, will not go in.
They're going to call Goggins on the back.
On the back foul against Paris Goggins. It was Emily Rakes that had position. Goggins has a few inches on Emily Rakes. It just got too much of the body there.
2:55 here remaining in the third quarter. And I think the Colonels are at that critical junction. They got to be very, very careful here.
It's a 4-point Fort Chiswell advantage. Let's see if the Lady Pioneers take some more time off the clock with a 4-point lead. And there's a timeout from head coach Abby Williams. Let's take it with her. 2:43 left to play in the third. Pioneers lead by 4 over the Lady Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Quality, performance, value. When it comes to tires, no one is as obsessive as the designers and engineers at Michelin. We all expect tires to perform at their very best. So whether it's smooth riding Michelin cross-country terrain SUV tires, rugged Michelin LTX series of truck tires, or the premier passenger car performance of Michelin Hydro Edge tires, the name Michelin means you'll get the most out of your vehicle. When it's time to switch to Michelin, come to Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, Main Street, Altavista.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
It's a 4-point Fort Chiswell lead, 32-28. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. After a Fort Chiswell timeout, it's Lady Pioneer basketball on the far sideline. Oscar, it seems like this speed and this shooting from Fort Chiswell starting to take over the game a little bit. Lady Colonels are going to have to slow the tempo, use the size and the smarts, the craftiness to their advantage.
And I think that was the message from Fort Chiswell coach, is that they need to pick up the pace a little bit and get those shots back off quicker than they were. They certainly are methodical right here.
There's a steal by Victoria Burgess. Yeah, Haley Kraft was involved in it as well. Burgess finally came away with it. I think if you can slow Fort Chiswell down, make them get in a half-court set, Lady Colonel's got to feel pretty good about their chances. Altavista taking some time of their own here on the offensive end. Burgess dribbles left, now back to the right. Off to the right point to Haley Kraft. Now it's to the top of the key to Paris Goggins. Mabry stuck on the bottom baseline there and lost the basketball. Music in transition. Weaved in and out everybody and then lost the ball going to the basket. Just kind of slid out of her hands. Brittany Mason and Taylor Kraft return to the ball game. They join Haley Kraft, Addison Mormon, and Victoria Burgess. Sort of a 2-2-1 press now for Fort Chiswell. Kraft catches on the near sideline, throws it backwards to Victoria Burgess. Still in the backcourt here for the Lady Colonels with 1:47 left to play in the third. They were going for Mabry at the top of the key and lost it. Pardon me, Mormon. Mormon got fouled. And now they're going to talk about it. The officials are going to say, what happened? What was the sequence? I feel like Mormon got fouled as she was catching the basketball.
Well, here's the thing. One of the officials called 10 seconds, but the ball crossed the line and was touched.
Got bounced backwards, yeah. It was touched by a Fort Chiswell player and got bounced backwards. I think that's what the officials are talking about right now. 1:41 left to play in the third quarter. 32-28, Altavista trailing. That's a foul.
That's the right call.
Yeah, a foul on 0-0, Carly Music.
That's the right call. And I'm not saying that just as an Altavista. That was the right call.
Taylor Kraft will inbound. They get it quickly down low to Brittany Mason. Mason's shot never drew iron from about 3 feet away.
She was a little bit rushed. She's got to take her time and finish that.
Fort Chiswell races into the front court. Ooh, contact there as Gracie Robinson went to the hole. The whistle came out a little bit late, but they did call a foul on Brittany Mason.
That's the 16th foul on the Colonels here in this quarter. 2 so far for Chiswell.
1:29 left to play in the third. Robinson can't sink the first, so the Fort Chiswell lead stays at 4. 32-28. I think the biggest lead for either team, Oscar, has been 6. Lady Colonels had that at one point. Second one won't go. Mormon has to chase down the rebound along the baseline. She is able to flip it off to Taylor Kraft.
Chiswell only 4 of 8 from the line.
That could be beneficial to the Lady Colonels as the game goes on. Haley Kraft holds it above her head, looking for a teammate. She was looking on the far sideline for sister Taylor Kraft. It had got knocked out of bounds. They'll stay with the Altavista Colonels.
Colonels continue to pick up their dribble when they get in press situation. They've got to stop that.
Brittany Mason tried to muscle it away from Caroline Boer. That's a jump ball, alternating possession, and it will go back to the Altavista Colonels. Inbound play coming from the baseline. Taylor Craft zips it up top to sister Haley Craft. Haley with the NBA range three will not go. Rattled in and out. Lady Colonels with an extra possession as Addison Mormon got the basketball. Seems like it's been a long time since either team has scored, OB.
It has. It's been on 32-28 for some time.
Down to 60 seconds left to play in the third quarter. It might stay there. Mason, pass fake, now dribbles to the right elbow. Instead goes back out near midcourt to Victoria Burgess. Haley Craft with another long one. It was online, just a little short. Mormon ran it down again. It's going to be in the backcourt, though. Great effort by Addison Mormon, and you can't really fault Haley Craft for trying these long ones. I mean, they're drawing iron. They're online for sure.
First one was a little bit strong, second one a little bit short, but they've been online.
39.4 seconds left, and Erica Mabry has returned to the ballgame. She replaces Haley Craft. She joins for the Colonels, Mormon, Burgess, Mason, and Taylor Craft. 35 seconds now. Fort Chiswell ball in the front court, scoring on the left-hand bucket. Craft got her hand on a pass and knocked it out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Chiswell.
Boy, can the Colonels come back and put two teams back in the Final Four? That's the big question.
It's very possible.
Nice defense by
Addison. 4 right now. Hey, a bucket here in the last 30 seconds would give them some momentum,
Absolutely.
wouldn't it? Taylor Craft, about 5 feet behind the three-point line, passes back to Victoria Burgess between the circles. Burgess, no dribble yet. Now she'll use the left hand. Waist-high dribble. One bounce pass over to Taylor Craft. Craft going to penetrate. Now in the corner. Mabry, catch and shoot. Won't go in from the right wing. Rebound run down there by Gracie Robinson. Robinson in a hurry across the timeline. Splits the defense. Floater at the horn goes! That's Gracie Robinson coast to coast with the flotation device at the end of it for the finish. 34-28. Fort Chiswell up by 6. We've got one more quarter of regulation between the Lady Colonels and Fort Chiswell on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1909, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, we've seen good math by me. We've seen 7 quarters of basketball here today, Oscar. The Altavista guys had a lead going into the fourth quarter. The Lady Colonels, on the other hand, they're going to have to come back from a 6-point deficit if they want to return to VCU.
And they've had trouble with this man-to-man defense and the changing defense that Chiswell continues to throw at them. Colonels only scored 5 points in that quarter, so they've got their work cut out for them.
Well, I think Coach Spencer and her squad wanted to slow the tempo down as much as possible, but sometimes it can cause you to lose your own aggressiveness in attacking the basket and trying to score.
I mean, somebody from Altavista's got to start breaking this Chiswell man-to-man down and break somebody down off the dribble.
Might end up being Addison Mormon or Taylor Craft, possibly.
And when we get the opportunity, we have to finish at the rim.
Chiswell basketball in the front court. They're playing keep away a bit here around this Lady Colonel zone. Altavista gambling from time to time, trying to get some steals. Gracie Robinson back to Music. Music for a long 2. No, they were going to say it was a 3. Didn't matter. Didn't go in. Mason with a rebound. Bounces off to Victoria Burgess. Burgess will angle back to the center of the court and just walk it across the timeline. 7:20 left to play in the ball game, in regulation anyway. Lady Colonels trailing by 6. 34-28 is the score here. If you missed the first game, the Altavista guys beat Honaker pretty handedly. Erica Mabry steps into a 3. In and out, no good. Rebound by Brittany Mason on the offensive side. Won't go. Mormon had a second chance, and that got knocked away. That brings a big applause from the Fort Chiswell crowd. They know they made a nice stand on defense there. Shot up. Dunford had the rebound. Her second chance try hit the bottom of the net. Wouldn't go in. And Altavista finally clears. They're back on offense in the front court with 6:44 and a turning clock in the fourth quarter.
One of the big things that's happened so far with this defense is that Chiswell's forcing Victoria Burgess out way too far to start their offense. What a bounce pass.
Mason can't finish from inside. There's some contact on the rebound attempt. Dunford brings it into the front court. Off to Robinson. Robinson for three. Hit the back plate. Wouldn't go. Offensive rebound by Music. There's a steal by Addison Mormon. Mormon, nobody behind her. Right to the right edge of the iron, and it goes. Much-needed points for the Lady Colonels.
So can defense spark a rally here with 6:10 left in the fourth quarter? Colonels trailing by 4. And that's a carry. Here we go.
Carol Music with the turnover. Carrying the basketball there. That's going to allow some substitutes to come in for Altavista too. Haley Kraft back in. Paris Goggins back in. They join Taylor Kraft, Victoria Burgess, and Erica Mabry. That's the 5 on the court right now for the Lady Colonels. Kraft needs somewhere to go. Used up about 4.5 seconds of the 5 seconds you're allotted to get the ball inbounds. Haley in trouble, picks up her dribble, looking for help, goes to Victoria Burgess. Coach Deborah Spencer called a timeout as that was happening. Let's take the timeout, too. Just under 6 minutes left to play in regulation. Lady Colonels trail by 4 on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Coach Deborah Spencer in the pregame interview thought they'd have to keep the scoring pace low for the Lady Colonels to have a chance. Well, they have done just that, Oscar, and they've given themselves a chance here with just under 6 minutes to play. They trail 34-30. Taylor Kraft inbounding just a few feet in front of us here at the press table at the Salem Civic Center. Now it's off to the far sideline to Haley Kraft.
They continue to press and pin these Colonel players on the sideline against the half-court line.
Burgess got knocked to the deck, and they're going to call that a traveling violation. Gosh, Altavista fans felt sure there was some contact there. Never known Victoria Burgess to be unsteady on her feet.
No.
5:35 left to play in the fourth quarter. 34-30 is the Fort Chiswell lead. They throw it to a cutting Gracie Robinson. She dumps it back out to Dunford. Dunford fires for three, in and out. Goggins grabs the rebound. She's hassled, holds on to it.
Nice job being strong with that ball and pivoting away. Dodged the bullet there.
Yeah, Kraft was trying to throw a bullet pass down to Paris Goggins. He was not on target, but it got knocked out of bounds by Fort Chiswell.
Certainly from a team speed perspective, Chiswell has got a big advantage, and that was several times we've seen the Colonels throw the ball about a half a step late.
Kraft looking to inbound, throws it in the right corner to sister Haley Kraft. Kraft, I mean, this defense from Fort Chiswell,
stifling.
It is. And the referees are letting them play so they can be a little physical and a little aggressive. We saw the Altavista guys do the same thing in game one. Got to get used to the officiating. Goggins steps into a 15-footer, and it's good. How about the mid-range jumper for Paris Goggins to bring the Lady Colonels within two? 34-32. Big shot from Paris Goggins. Altavista back on defense again. Goggins closing out in the left-hand corner here. They throw it between the circles to Music. Music now back to the left corner to Dunford. Dunford for three, and it's good. Savannah Dunford with a catch-and-shoot three.
That's her third of the ball game. She's got a beautiful stroke. You got to find her.
37-32. Stretches the lead back out to 5 for Fort Chiswell. Goggins going to pop out to set a screen for Taylor Kraft. She doesn't use it. Still looking inside the defense.
I don't know what she's waiting for.
No 5-second count. Kraft will dribble now to her right, gets to the head of the key, then retreats back out here to the far sideline. Kraft looking for space.
Pinning Goggins in the corner.
Throws the ball away. Now it's up ahead. Fast break time for Fort Chiswell. Dunford pulls up from 5 feet, nails it.
Timeout.
There's a timeout from head coach Deborah Spencer. 39-32. Fort Chiswell on top. Lady Colonels trail by 7, but it's not over yet. We've got over half of the fourth quarter to play when you come back to 105.5 KD Country.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
4:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. Fort Chiswell expanding the lead. They've got it to 7 now, Oscar. You know, a few moments ago, that Paris Goggins 15-foot jumper pulled the Lady Colonels within 2. Since then, it's been a big burst from the Lady Pioneers.
Well, it's been a big burst for Sarah Dunford, who hit the 3 and then followed up with that with a little pull-up from the elbow at about 12 feet. That is an extremely difficult shot, but, boy, she's knocked it down with ease.
It's a difficult shot to pull it to make. It's a difficult shot to stop, though, too. You know, you're used to people shooting from beyond the three-point arc, and you're used to people driving. So that mid-range catches defense off guard. They throw it into Brittany Mason, who's back in the ball game. Victoria Burgess trying to dribble away from pressure, and they'll whistle Savannah Dunford with the foul.
That's only their third team foul, so they got some fouls to give. That will play to their advantage as this game starts to wind down.
Sure will. They can prevent all easy buckets, at least for 4 more fouls if they want to. 39-32. Lady Colonels trail by 7. They send Mormon long. They can't get it to her. They throw it short to Brittany Mason. Lady Colonels in the backcourt trying to survive this full-court pressure from Fort Chiswell.
And with man-to-man pressure, Colonels shouldn't have any problem. Get the ball in the hands of Victoria Burgess. She does a great job of breaking the press. She's close to getting the 5-second count.
Yeah, she does a nice job of starting one direction, angling back the other. It's really tough for a defender to stop. Oh, Kraft hit the deck trying to get a pass from Brittany Mason. She'll hustle back and play defense. This is Gracie Robinson in transition again. Now she'll pull it back out and retreat.
Now you'll see Chiswell. You might see them start to burn a little clock.
Lady Colonels may have to go to a man-to-man or at least extend this zone out a bit and try and pressure. Mormon nearly got her hands on a steal. In the corner again to Dunford. Dunford for 3 again. That would have been a backbreaker if it went in. It did not. Mason couldn't control the rebound. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Chiswell. Clock stops at 3:08 left to play. It's a 39-32 Fort Chiswell advantage. Timeout on the court for the Lady Pioneers. Let's take it with them. They lead by 7. 3:08 left to play in the fourth quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
In the market for a new Chevrolet? Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
For a huge selection of new Chevrolets and pre-owned vehicles, it's Fellers Chevrolet.
FellersDirect.com.
FellersDirect.com. Selection. Convenience. Fellers Chevrolet.
Fellers Chevrolet.
Always open and only a click away.
FellersDirect.com.
A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
More live high school sports action on 105.5 KD Country.
Oscar, sometimes it's hard for an up-tempo, fast-paced offense to slow things down, but you think that's what Fort Chiswell is going to try and do with a 7-point lead in just over 3 minutes to play?
Certainly, if Altavista doesn't extend that zone, they've done a good job, Fort Chiswell has, of passing the ball around the perimeter, screening and getting an open 3. They can be very, very selective at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to completely try and stop scoring, but I think you're right. They're going to draw that Altavista defense out as much as they can.
Coach Spencer telling the defense to come out. There's a turn, almost.
Wow, nearly lost the basketball. Could have maybe called a carry on that as it got pretty loose from Gracie Robinson.
Backcourt situation, too.
Robinson circles the D, far sideline, gets in the paint, runs across it to her left. They are really just trying to milk clock now. It's a big game of keep away again. Gets rid of it. Oh, Kraft thought she had to steal, but they called a foul just to step inside the timeline. That is Altavista's 6th foul as a team. No, it's their 7th. It's going to send 0-0 Carly Music to the free throw line.
Carly's yet to go to the line today.
2:33 left to play in the ball game. It's a 7-point advantage for Fort Chiswell. They ran off a full 30 seconds there. Free throw no good. Mabry rebounds inside the middle of the paint. Look for possibly Mabry or Taylor Kraft to trigger a 3 here once Altavista gets the offense set up.
Colonels don't have a lot of time. They got to go.
Can't be choosy at all. Mormon holds it overhead. Oh, nice pass to get it to Brittany Mason down low. Mason got stuffed on the shot attempt, though. Music gets the loose ball. She's coming up the far sideline in a hurry. Now she'll circle around, apply the brakes, and take off some time. That dribble might have gone over her head, and Taylor Kraft will commit the intentional foul to send Carly Music to the free throw line. Good job by Taylor Craft to pounce on her and make the foul. They're going to send Gracie Robinson to the line. Didn't she foul Music? Well, I could have been wrong. She'll fire the free throw. Won't go in, so I guess it doesn't matter. There's a foul on the offensive rebound attempt. They'll get Sadie Smith, who's going on the back of Brittany Mason.
They're going to get
2:03 left to play in the game. Lady Colonels trail by 7. They desperately need a bucket on this possession. Full court pressure again.
Yeah, they're not letting up. There is no let up in this team.
Mason's going to break long. They can't get it to her. Instead, they throw it over the top of the defense to Victoria Burgess. Burgess races it down the far sideline, going to the hoop, throws up a wild shot attempt, but give some credit to Victoria Burgess for knowing that she was going to take some contact and just getting herself in the act of shooting.
They're going to give her 2 shots on that, and that's the right thing, and you can credit all that to Victoria Burgess because she knew she was getting fouled. She threw the ball up.
1:58 left to play. Burgess can't make the first. Haley Craft is back in the ball game for Erica Mabry. She joins Taylor Craft, Victoria Burgess at the free throw line, Brittany Mason and Addison Mormon surrounding the paint, ready to go after a rebound on a missed free throw. Second one's up. That one does go. Coach Deborah Spencer's going to call a timeout. Let's take it with her. 39-33. Fort Chiswell on top of Altavista. Just under 2 to play on 105.5 KD Country.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sunny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sunny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sunny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Back to the press box for high school sports on 105.5 KD Country.
So glad that you've taken some time to join the party here on a Saturday afternoon. The Lady Colonels trail by 6, 39-33. Agent 0. It's not quite desperation time yet for Altavista. If they could get the ball back and score, they'd be in good shape. But they really can't afford to give up a bucket to Fort Chiswell now.
Well, you're right. And on that trip down to Fort, Colonels were able to knock down 1 out of 2 free throws. They just about got to be perfect from the line from here on in as well.
Full court pressure. Get it down the far sideline to Music. She steps inside, cuts across the defense. Now again, steps on the brakes and is fouled intentionally by Addison Mormon.
That's the 9th. That'll be 1 and 1. After this, it'll be 2 shots from the line every time they go.
I think it's the right move by Coach Spencer to foul intentionally. You and I have often commented that we think a lot of teams wait too late.
Music yet to hit from the line tonight. Of course, she knocks that one down. Lead pushes the lead to 7.
If she can miss and the Lady Colonels can get a 2 or 3, you'd probably be okay with it. You'd trade a 3 for 1. She does miss. Rebound collected by Brittany Mason just outside the paint.
Colonels have to go. 149 remaining here in the ballgame.
She shoves it off to Burgess. Burgess in the front court. Haley Craft stuck now. Picks up the dribble. Needs help. Bounces off to Addison Mormon. Mormon zips to Victoria Burgess. Burgess driving. Lost the ball. Had to wrestle it away. Possession arrow does favor Altavista. So they keep the ball but lose the possession arrow on the alternating possession.
Chiswell, as high scoring as they are very, very good defensively. A lot of team speed. They trap. They recognize the opportunities. Great job defensively by this team. They are extremely, we've talked about, they are extremely well coached.
They use the flippers to knock passes away. They did that one right there. Craft got an inbound, looking for somewhere to go. Does get to Mormon. Mormon on the left edge of the paint. Over to Mason. Mason wants to drive. Steps inside. Post move won't fall. Mason going to try and get her own rebound. It can't. That could hurt for the Lady Colonels with 1:22 left to play. There's an intentional foul committed by Taylor Craft. I think that is Taylor Craft's 5th foul. She's standing near the bench. She seems to realize the foul total. That is going to cut Taylor Craft's game short and possibly end her career if the Lady Colonels can't come back from a 7-point deficit. They've got 1 minute and 21 seconds left to do it. They're probably going to have to play pretty much perfect from here on out.
That's absolutely right. They will. Haley Craft, Burgess, Goggins, Mabry, and Mason in the game. Knocks down the first.
Yep, Pioneers sink the first. That stretches the lead to 8. That makes it even tougher. Not completely over just yet, though. Lady Colonels do have 1:21 left. She sinks both. It's a 9-point deficit here for Altavista. 3 balls that got to start getting fired up pretty quickly. Mabry will roll off a screen, catches, shoots. Shot didn't hit the iron. They couldn't run it down. It's out of bounds. Bad news for the Lady Colonels. They're going to have to foul again with 1:09 left.
Yeah, they're in dire straits right now.
They're going to play for the steal on the inbound, but then if they get it in, they'll have to foul. They do just that. Mabry got tied up with number 23, Gracie Robinson. Pardon me, the foul's on Victoria Burgess. See how many that is on Victoria Burgess. It's just her first foul.
She got a lot to give.
I don't think Vic has come off the court, so in 31 minutes of basketball, just 1 foul. Free throw goes in for Gracie Robinson. Now it's a double-digit deficit for Altavista. The margin of error, is really slim now. That free throw will not go in. Mason grabs a rebound. It's off to Burgess. Burgess is going to hustle it across the timeline with exactly 60 seconds remaining. Kraft driving around the screen, sends up a floater with the right hand. That won't fall. Lady Colonels have just gone cold at a bad time here on offense, and there's a foul as number 4, Savannah Dunford, got the rebound and kept it away. Timeout on the court. Let's take it with them. 49.8 seconds left. Lady Colonels trail by 10 on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels, hey, let's go Lady Colonels. Cheering on the Altavista Lady Colonels, One Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista are proud of your dedication and teamwork. It's led you to the basketball playoffs. One Stop Mart Altavista is proud to support the community that supports One Stop. Before stepping out to tonight's game, be sure to fill up the gas tank at One Stop and pick up a bucket of the best chicken in town. One Stop Mart, Main Street Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken's kicking.
Your high school sports station with award-winning coverage on 105.5 KD Country.
I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. The Altavista Lady Colonels in dire straits here with just 49 seconds left. They trail by 10. Oscar, I said it, Altavista, just not the best time to go cold from the shooting perspective, and they have not made a bucket in a long time.
Well, they haven't had a good look. Once Chiswell went to this man-to-man, the Colonels have not been able to execute their offense and have had a tough time getting any kind of shot off.
Looks like Altavista is going to play defense. Oh, Dunford got by everybody and scored. 2 more for the Lady Colonels. 2 more for the Lady Pioneers, pardon me. 45-33. Kraft will hoist a desperation 3. Won't go in. Rebound bounces harmlessly out of bounds into the press row. Down to 29 seconds left. Lady Colonels trail by 12. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with you. Altavista not going to foul. Deborah Spencer has said don't foul. And this is going to pretty much end the ball game. Kraft and Whitney Davis went over to try and get the basketball back. Down to 10 seconds. Savannah Dunford's just going to hold and look at the clock. Everybody from the Lady Colonels knows the score. They're going to wander off to their bench, and unfortunately, the bitter taste of defeat is in their mouths. It's a 45-33 victory for the Fort Chiswell Lady Pioneers. Lady Colonels season is done at the Salem Civic Center. We'll come back for the Subway postgame show right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Quality, performance, value. When it comes to tires, no one is as obsessive as the designers and engineers at Michelin. We all expect tires to perform at their very best. So whether it's smooth riding Michelin cross-country terrain SUV tires, rugged Michelin LTX series of truck tires, or the premier passenger car performance of Michelin Hydro Edge tires, the name Michelin means you'll get the most out of your vehicle. When it's time to switch to Michelin, come to Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, Main Street, Altavista.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Brought to you by English Construction Company, with offices in Lynchburg.
Now back to the action with Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show arrives. The Altavista guys won in game number 1 today of our doubleheader. The Lady Colonels could not do the same. They fall 45-33 to the Fort Chiswell Lady Pioneers. It was a hard-fought game. Altavista trailed by 2 at halftime. They had some flashes there in the third and fourth quarter, Oscar, but unfortunately it just was not enough.
Yeah, you scored 10 points in the second half, and that's what the Colonels did. They outscored 20-10. You scored 10 points in a half of the state quarterfinals. You're going to come up on the losing end more often than not.
Yeah, no room for error when you get to this level because you're playing such quality opposition. Fort Chiswell was definitely that tonight. It's one of those situations where, if those two teams play 10 times, it's not going to be a big difference either way. It'll be 5-5, 6-4 one way maybe. Not like Fort Chiswell beats Altavista every time out, but tonight they had enough to top the Lady Colonels. Oscar and I will bring it back with some stats, players of the game, and maybe we'll soak in the atmosphere a little bit more here. Lady Colonels come up on the short end of the stick. They lose 45-33 against Fort Chiswell. You heard it all live on 105.5 KD Country.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
Life is full of opportunities to show someone we love them. One such opportunity is the funeral or memorial service. Finch and Finch helps you celebrate the relationships they shared and honors the memory of your loved one.
Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service. A family serving families since 1905.
PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this award-winning broadcast. PCM Industrial Maintenance and Construction Specialists providing welding, millwright, erection, and fabrication services to all forms of industry throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. From offices in Altavista, PCM Industrial Services congratulates the Altavista basketball teams on another successful season. Good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels.
Brother needs a pickup, sister wants a ride. Uncle needs a sports car to keep him satisfied. Mama, she wants comfort, luxury and style. And Daddy, he just wants a deal that's gonna make him smile. Everybody's happy, you can hear them all say, we're glad we went to Fellers Chevrolet. Competition for all dealers in Central VA. A short drive will save you money. Fellers Chevrolet in Altavista.
Your home for Colonel sports coverage. 105.5 KD Country.
Subway post-game show back again as we wrap things up from the Salem Civic Center. The Altavista guys advance on to play Thursday at VCU in state semifinal action. Exact time to be determined, but I think it's at 11:30 if I'm not mistaken. We'll keep you posted. Listen for the promos on KD Country, of course. Like KD Country on Facebook and on Twitter. Invite your friends to do the same. KDCountry.com is the website. The Lady Colonels season is over here in the state quarterfinals. They fall 45-33 to Fort Chiswell. And Oscar, it was a battle, and you said it. Only scored 10 points in the second half. And it's just, you can't survive that. You just can't.
No, and you got to give credit to Chiswell. When they went to that man-to-man, it really just locked down the Colonels, and they just weren't able to get Haley Craft, Taylor Craft, Erica Mabry. None of those kids were able to get off the three-point shots that they normally get, and it just really stifled. They did a great job of stifling the Colonels.
We'll do some final numbers now. I know I asked you. I should just tell you. I should just say, do the final numbers.
Yeah,
Oscar,
that's right. Just tell me what to do. Addison Mormon, first for the Colonels. Addison Mormon with 2. Whitney Davis did not score but played. Haley Craft with 5. Taylor Craft with 3. Victoria Burgess with 1. Paris Goggins with 8. Erica Mabry with 6. Brittany Mason with 8. For Chiswell, Carly Music with 3. Savannah Dunford with 15. Sadie Smith with 8. Gracie Robinson with 11. Emily Height with 4. And Alexandria Rakes with 4.
Good balanced scoring there from both ball clubs. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for the Altavista Lady Colonels. We'll step aside for one more timeout, bring it back with the player of the game, and try and review how it all went down again one more time here. The Altavista Lady Colonels fall 45-33 to Fort Chiswell. Back right after this with more Subway postgame show on 105.5 KD Country.
You're listening to Colonel Sports on 105.5 KD Country, WKDE Altavista, Lynchburg.
Recognized for outstanding service and customer satisfaction, Sonny Merriman Incorporated is Virginia's platinum service Thomas-built bus dealer. As Virginia's oldest and most experienced bus distributor, Sonny Merriman Incorporated has been providing buses to schools, churches, medical facilities, and transit agencies for 50 years. Sonny Merriman Incorporated recognized the Altavista boys and girls basketball teams for their outstanding season and wishes them good luck in the playoffs. Go Colonels!
Quality, performance, value. When it comes to tires, no one is as obsessive as the designers and engineers at Michelin. We all expect tires to perform at their very best. So whether it's smooth riding Michelin cross-country terrain SUV tires, rugged Michelin LTX series of truck tires, or the premier passenger car performance of Michelin Hydro Edge tires, the name Michelin means you'll get the most out of your vehicle. When it's time to switch to Michelin, come to Perkins Twin Tire and Auto Service, Main Street, Altavista.
Colonels, hey, let's go Lady Colonels. Cheering on the Altavista Lady Colonels One-Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista are proud of your dedication and teamwork. It's led you to the basketball playoffs. One Stop Mart Altavista is proud to support the community that supports One Stop. Before stepping out to tonight's game, be sure to fill up the gas tank at One Stop and pick up a bucket of the best chicken in town. One Stop Mart, Main Street, Altavista, where the gas is cheap, beverages are cold, and the chicken's kicking.
Your station for high school sports play-by-play is 105.5 KD Country.
Subway postgame show returns for the final segment. I'm Kyle Hoehne. He's Oscar Briggs. Before we get to the player of the game, we'll tell you about our player of the game, always, Eleanor Hoehne. Fabulous job once again. 2 games is not easy to do. It's never easy to make us sound decent. But today was a lot of fun, I think, Oscar, even though Lady Colonels fall. Still a nice day all the way around. It's a shame to see so many great careers come to an end for the Lady Colonels. They've got a lot of fabulous seniors that are going to be missed. You've got them circled there. Let's start with the exchange student, Jasmine Cusimini. We saw her in the conference play. She's a big part of that team, always smiling, laughing, having a good time.
Whitney Davis, a longtime athletic contributor in a lot of sports to the Colonels. Taylor Kraft, who had 3 points tonight. I'm sure she's disappointed at the way her career ended. Victoria Burgess, boy, what a great career she's had in several sports, both volleyball, softball, basketball. She'll be missed in the Altavista program as they move forward. And then Erica Mabry, another one of those athletes that's just done a great job, and she'll be sorely missed as well.
Yep, and that's a heck of a senior class, Oscar. A lot of wins in that group there for sure. Time to go to the player of the game. First, I'll go ahead for the Fort Chiswell High School Lady Pioneers. They moved to 25-2 on the season. They move on to state semifinal play. I'm going to go with the leading scorer, Savannah Dunford, 15 points, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. A nice player out there. She put up the most shots. She put up 14 shots, but still, you can tell Savannah Dunford can really play.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that sentiment. I hate to agree just for the sake of not liking to agree with you, but Savannah Dunford scored 9 points in that fourth quarter when they really took over the ball game. So for me, that's an easy choice. Great pick by you.
Just a junior. Just a junior. This Fort Chiswell squad is loaded with youth. On the other side, for the Altavista Lady Colonels, a couple different directions that you could go. Oh, I'm going to go with Victoria Burgess. Only 1 point for the point guard today, but, man, she handled that backcourt pressure. She kind of runs the team, helped create a lot of steals. I don't think they would have gotten this far without Victoria Burgess, but, again, you could say the same thing with that whole senior class. It's hard to slight any of them, Oscar.
Yeah, and I didn't talk about Brittany Mason. I missed her. Another senior that's contributed in a bunch of sports. So, I'm going a little bit different route. I'm going with the combo pick, and I'm going with the seniors.
Okay.
I'm going with Brittany Mason. I'm going with Erica Mabry. I'm going with Taylor Kraft. I'm going with Whitney Davis. Those kids led the team this year, a lot of senior leadership, and Easy pick for me to go with the seniors.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. They all play multiple sports, too. Some combination of volleyball, basketball, and softball. And some of them play all three. And you're right, that senior class, very deserving here today. It reminds you once again of our starting lineup before we hit the road. The folks that have made it all possible for us this year in the playoffs. One Stop Mart, where the gas is cheap, the beverages are cold, and the chicken is kicking. Perkins Twin Tire. They're on 1312 Main Street in Altavista and online at PerkinsTwinTire.com. English Construction, wishing our exciting high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. They are exciting athletes, though. Sonny Merriman, Virginia's premier bus company. Fellers Chevrolet, a short drive will save you money. PCM Industrial Services, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality maintenance and construction service. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, a family serving family since 1905. Of course, it's the Subway post-game show. Rise and dine at Subway. Breakfast sandwiches that'll make you happy no matter what side of the bed you woke up on. If you listened online with kdcountry.com or the TuneIn app, you got to thank your Allstate agent in Windhurst, Chad Rakos. Oscar, that's going to do it for us. Next time we're on the air for basketball is Thursday morning. The Altavista Colonels taking on the winner of Eastside and Lancaster. That'll be at the Siegel Center on the campus of VCU. We'll keep you posted on the official details. Go to kdcountry.com and also keep listening to KD Country. For Troy Harris, for Deborah Spencer, for Dean Hubbard, who joined us, for Oscar Briggs, and our sound engineer, Eleanor Hoehne. So glad we could be a part of this one, and glad you could be a part of it as well. Altavista guys get to win. They're headed back to the Final Four. Lady Colonels' season is done. They lose 45-33. Back to some more real country music on 105.5 KD Country.